BlogTalk Radio.
Better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football.
The old timers, do you remember the names like Bronco Nagurski and Night Train Lane? Bulldog Turner, my man Sam Huff in the snow and the mud. They were still real tough. Crazy Legs Hurts, and remember Raymond Berry asked me if they hit hard, and I'll say Berry. Paul, Christian, Buddy, Young Lenny Moore is them eyes-on. They seem to always score. Ed Sprinkle, defensive end for those years. Gene Big Daddy Listen was the man to fear. You have Steve Van Buren and Otto Graham. Johnny Unitas had the arm of a Superman. We had Charlie Trippy and Gino Marquette. If you're searching for a champion, they're your best bet. Which I could quarterback, like Johnny Lou Jack or even Sid Luckman, as a matter of fact. Do you remember Red Brains, the Galloping Ghost? He could do a 95 running coast to coast. You had Norm Van Brockton, a real great player, so swift with his moves that he could be mayor. Y.A. Tino, Allie Madison, hey, I remember all those guys from back in the days.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football, 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 football.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Cali Mike, coming at you with a hot new episode of CMT Firestorm. We're bringing you the best, brightest, and boldest in the world of football, both college and professional. And also, we managed to talk about a little bit of everything else, too. Coming at you today, I got my boy, Chi-Town Mike, with me, coming up in the Windy City. Chi-Town, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Cali Mike? I see you made it, Cali Mike. Thought we might have wasn't going to make it. I know you had a little something you had to do, but hey, good to hear your voice, Cali Mike.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be till later. But yeah, we're having we're supposed to be having a huge storm out here, so it's going to cause a lot of conflict with my job. So I gotta check into this other thing later. But how's everything going out there, man?
Everything's cool, man. Everything's hanging in there, bro.
Good. Okay. Also, looks like we got the is this the mouth of the South? Falzo Matt is on with this.
What's up?
Hey,
what's up, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready to get into some good stuff. I know it's going to be a crazy show tonight. I can already sense it.
All right, the calling number is 347-237-5539. Let's go ahead and get things started with this college football, man. We got these playoffs. We know who's going to be in the playoffs. We know it's going to be Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, and who's the other one? Who's the fourth?
Florida State.
The fourth one?
Florida State.
Florida State. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of you guys didn't think Ohio State was going to make it, which, like I said, I want to let everybody know all my predictions this year have been true. I want everybody know that.
No, they haven't, but
shit. When I was saying Ohio State was going to make it in last week, remember, I was crazy again, remember? And I tried to tell you guys about big football.
Okay. I can't wait to hear Tony Brown get on here.
Well, you can get him and get on here and tell lies. But anyway, like I said, I predicted this happened, that Ohio State is in there. And I mean, like I say, in my opinion, I don't know. To me, like I said, I'm not mad at the decision. You know, they're the outright conference champion. Baylor and TCU are both co-conference champions. I probably would have liked to see either Baylor or TCU in the playoffs, but I mean, I could go either way with that, because like I said, to me, all teams were in a deserving position. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, hold on, my bad. You want to go first, Shot-Town?
You go ahead, Pazel.
Well, excuse me. First of all, I think TCU got screwed. Well, first of all, I think it should have been Baylor in there first because they already had beat TCU anyway. So by that factor alone, I think Baylor should have been in there. But if you wanted to pick the second team, I would go with TCU because they handled their business on the last week of the season, blew their team out, and they fell out of the top four. What kind of mess is that right there? I mean, if you had to rate the conferences in terms of strength of schedule, quality of teams, you're going to go Big 12 or Big 10. I'm going Big 12. So when you have that factor alone, the fact that they handled their business on the last week of the season, and Ohio State, even though they blew out Wisconsin had a hurt Melvin Gordon. And, I mean, it's just not a great conference. The Big Ten is not a great conference. So I would rather pick somebody from the Big 12 who's had a more reparable schedule than someone in the Big Ten. So that's why I think that Baylor and TCU got screwed. And this was all about ratings, money, teams with the most cachet, great matchups that people want to see. That's why Ohio State got into the Final Four.
What does Oregon have to do with that?
What is what?
What does Oregon have to do with that?
Oregon have to do. I never even mentioned Oregon. I just said that TCU or.
You just said Oregon.
No, I said or.
Oh,
I didn't say and Oregon. I never mentioned Oregon. But I mean, Oregon had it because the owner of Nike is an Oregon alum. Anyways, man. You know, because I don't even think they one of the top four teams in the country. But you know how that is, man. But
you're a hater, and you also predicted Arizona State.
Nobody's hating, Mike. Nobody's hating Kelly, Mike. Don't even get that.
Hold up. You also predicted Arizona was going to beat the crap out of them, and they got blown out.
I never said they were going to beat the crap out. They were going to beat them, and I was wrong. You said Alabama was going to lose to LSU.
I did?
Yeah.
That sounds made up. Anyway, Mike, what do you think about
the I thought the way the hype was in, I thought maybe it was going to be a big, the original Big 12 school like TCU or Baylor. Well, I know said Ohio State, but hey, kind of feel sorry for them. But like I was saying, they need to have a 4-game thing is not going to work. They need to have like 12. I think a 12 playoff eight playoff format. Have 4 more teams like how basketball and other sports have 8. So this first year of it, if they would have 8, then everything would have created something to play itself out. Even though it might be a few more games, but hey, it's settled having the playoffs. So I think they're gonna have to do that, man, because it got better, but we all know, man, it's being so competitive now. It's going to happen again. It might happen again next year, and we're going to be possibly talking about the same thing again. But again, Ohio State took care of business, man, and they won their conference. They lost 1 game, and they won the Big Ten championship. They blasted the team they beat, so, hey, so.
I want to go ahead and go out on a ledge here, and I think Ohio State, they can beat Alabama, man.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is funny. Okay, keep going, man. Keep going, man. I'm listening to this mess right here.
Like I said, I don't think they would have been able to. Like if Braxton Miller was still the quarterback, I don't think they would have been able to. But underneath jump, like the offense that they're running now, this high power, this passing style offense they're running now, I think, like I said, I think they got the receivers. And if they quarterback,
with a quarterback that only has one start, right? A quarterback that only has one start is going to play against one of the top 4 or 5 defenses in the country. And you're saying that they have a chance to beat them, but they're going to get blowed out. This is not going to even be close. That first game, this is just ridiculous. And I know you got that right, James. It's going to be a blowout. Okay, I got your message. So the thing is, Wisconsin didn't know how to prepare for this guy because he never had any playing time. So Alabama, you got Nick Saban, one of the best football minds in the country, going to have about 2-3 weeks to prepare for this guy. This guy's not going to even know what he's going to even like get when he gets. He doesn't even know what's coming to him when he gets in this game right here. That first game, that's going to be a blowout. That's going to be a blowout. I already can sense it now.
Did Nick Saban have
that Ohio State-Florida State game is going to be a blowout?
Did Nick Saban?
I mean, blowout in the sense of what'd you say?
Did he have much to prepare for Oklahoma State last year?
Who?
Nick Saban.
Didn't he have time to prepare for Oklahoma State last year?
Not Oklahoma State.
That's a different. Oklahoma. Oh, you want to go to that now? Oh, okay. But see, whatever, man. You already know the dynamic with that situation. Alabama was not up for that game. They did not want to play in that game. But I know you want to say that's an excuse. That's fine by me. James, you want to say that's an excuse too? That's fine by me. I really don't care. But you know it, and I know good and well they weren't up for that game. So they were let down from the national championship.
Who decides when Alabama wants to play or not? I mean, how do I know that they're going to want to play?
I mean, if you're not playing for a championship, it's a consolation game for them. It's pretty much that's what it was. It was like a disappointing game for them to play. Alabama's standard is the championship. That's their standard, and they couldn't play for the championship, so they didn't come up for the game against Oklahoma. You know that.
Maybe last year.
Yes, man. James,
they would have blew Oklahoma. Maybe last year, if they would have blew them out by enough points, they could have got a share of the AP championship. Who knows? But since they got their asses, we'll never know.
Oh, please.
I'm just saying, man, this Ohio State team. I mean, this Ohio State team is going to be a team. I mean, what team has Alabama faced like them all year?
Like Ohio State?
Yeah.
We played West Virginia. I think West Virginia has a better offense than Ohio State. They played what? You don't think West Virginia's offense is better than Ohio State's? Yes, it is. West Virginia's offense is better than Ohio State's. Yes, it is. And they played them, and Alabama weren't even on their A game. They weren't even on their A game that game, and they still beat West Virginia.
Well, for one, they barely beat them. Like, and Nick
exactly, they weren't even on their A game. They weren't even on their A game, and they beat West Virginia.
Nick Saban had the whole offseason.
Auburn. I would say Auburn's offense is. I would say Auburn's offense is better than West Virginia's. I mean, as good as Ohio State's offense.
Based on what?
Based on the amount of points they can put on the board, the amount of yards they can put on the board, and put in the game. I mean, Auburn's offense is a top 5 offense, in my personal opinion.
Well, Ohio State.
I mean, to do what they do in the SEC,
Ohio State has the number 4 offense in the country. They average 45 points a game.
Okay.
Auburn is
against mediocre competition in the Big Ten.
Well, like I said, according to you and Tony Watley, no competition is good outside of the SEC, so it doesn't matter. So I mean, unless that's always going to be the case. Every team not east of the Mississippi and south of the Mason-Dixon is bad and overrated. So according to you guys, that doesn't matter.
Oh please, you just can't come to the realization that the best teams out there. The best team is in the SEC, man. But we can get to that another time right now. I'm trying to figure out a way to get a computer real quick so I can put some people. But
let me go ahead and put James on, man. James, what's going on, man?
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, man, y'all. Hey, it never fails me, man. Every time I go on this show, man, I am guaranteed to hear at least one thing that'll make me laugh my butt off, man. Oh, God, this dude said West Virginia's offense is better than Ohio State. Come on, man.
It is.
Where you get that from?
I mean, look what competition. I'm going by level of competition. I'm going by level of competition. West Virginia lit up Baylor. West Virginia lit up Baylor. Ohio State, they played sorry behind Big Ten defense. Okay, so I don't even go. Whoa. Hey, don't even give me that Michigan State crap. Don't even give me that mess. Okay, so
you said West Virginia did all that against Baylor. What is Baylor known for? They're known for their offense, not their defense.
This is what you got to understand, James. When we were in college, like before everybody had these smartphones where you could just like look stuff up, Clausel used to have a way of trying to say things, and like he would almost like try to he would try to brainwash people into believing it. Like he would say these facts, and he would say it with such conviction in his face and in his voice, like you would almost believe it. And it's like, that's crazy, but maybe unless he's hella crazy, he wouldn't be saying that. But then I found out that he was hella crazy, so I didn't believe it yet. And I started instantly denying whatever he was saying was a lie because I knew it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
God,
he would say these facts. Oh yeah. Oh, such and such did this. Literally, he did that, and and he would say it. And like I say, since you couldn't look everything up, people would have no choice to believe it. But luckily, I had the internet in my room, so I would go back to my dorm room, and then I would come back and disprove him. But he would just make up these facts, and it would all be crazy.
I'll just look at it.
He be having his folks go to the Coleman Library and look up the truth, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, look, man, I'll say this. I do say Alabama in this game, but I don't see it being, absolute blowout like Clausel is saying. I do think that Urban Meyer will have his team prepared for this game. My only question is their defense. Their offense will be good, but their defense is basically been the question. I say that game against Wisconsin was an aberration as far as their defensive performance was concerned, because you got to think about it, is that Wisconsin basically was Melvin Gordon, and that was pretty much it. I mean, once you bottle him up, then you only have Joel Stalvey trying to make plays, and Joel Stalvey couldn't make plays. We found that out. He couldn't make plays. So, with that being said, is that's what made Ohio State look like, they were like some type of super team against Wisconsin. But like I said at the beginning of the year, was that if there was any Big Ten team that should have been in, it should have been Michigan State over Ohio State, because at least at Michigan State, they played Oregon out of conference, while Ohio State lost to Virginia Tech at home. So I didn't think that, including their win against Wisconsin and Minnesota and Michigan State at that time, was big enough to be a body of work to get into this playoff. Especially when you put at number 3 the week before. What's the point of putting them at number 3 the week before if you're going to drop them 3 places the next week after they win and they blow their opponent out? So I really would have wanted to see either Baylor or TCU in and have them play Oregon in the Rose Bowl, and then have Florida State and Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. So that way you knock out the business aspect of it, and you knock out the logistics aspect of it on both ends.
Okay, hey, let me put on Ed real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You there, Ed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what's good?
What's going on, Ed?
What's going on?
What's up?
Not too much. I just was hearing some of the comments that you guys were making. Some of them were true and false. I first would like to start with the great debate of Baylor and TCU. TCU was only mentioned this year because of the stuff that Robert Griffin did in the past. So they finally got some limelight, and TCU has been good for years. They've been getting robbed. But the reason why I think they are not in the Final Four is because, like what you guys said, it's all about prestige and money. But people are getting a very important fact. Most people in the country do not even know where Baylor or TCU is, or the fact that they even have a football team, unless you watch college football. So that's a fact. That also goes for Oregon. Most people don't know Oregon has a football team, even though they're number 2 in the country, wherever they're ranked. I don't think Oregon. Well, actually, I'm glad it's the matchups are the way they are because people are going to see Oregon get beat. There's no way possible they're going to beat Florida State and Alabama in one season. So I've got the lineup I like, which is Oregon's going to lose.
You realize, Claudio, you realize that Oregon is going to blow Florida State out, right?
You really believe? I don't believe that. I got Florida State in this game. I got State in this game.
I got Florida State too.
I got the Florida State in this game. Mike got Florida State. I mean, Shot got Florida State in this game too. I know. I got Florida State in this game because.
Wait. Let's
Shot got Florida State winning the whole thing. I got them winning the whole thing too now. I kind of got them winning the whole thing too.
Yeah, I have
Florida
State is winning the whole thing.
I'm kind of that way because I'm not betting against James Winston. Whatever you guys want to say about him, I ain't betting against James Winston.
Hold on.
I ain't betting against
your team? That's what I want to know. Who is your team?
Oh, Alabama's my team. I mean, Alabama's going to win either way. You know what I mean? Because James Winston's from Alabama. But, you know, but analyst, as an objective, I'm rooting for Alabama, but as an objective analyst, I'm looking at the dynamic here with the matchups. I'm going with Florida State. If you need one game out of them,
I'm going to go ahead.
If you need one game out of them,
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say this: if Oregon goes up by 2 touchdowns on Florida State, that game's going to be a blowout.
No, it's not.
I don't think that's not even going to happen because here's the thing: Oregon does not even have the talent to compete with Florida State. You're talking about NFL ready players versus D1 rejects.
Well, like I said, I put on the CMT page. Look at the players that have come out of Florida State recently, and look at the players that have come out of Oregon recently. Look who's doing better.
From Oregon in the NFL. Name one person from Oregon in the NFL that's good. Name one. Actually, name one person in the league from Oregon.
Are you kidding me?
TJ Ward.
Who?
Wow, you don't even know who Haloti Ngata is?
But he wasn't there when Chip Kelly was there. Haloti Ngata wasn't there when Chip Kelly and them were there. He was before that. Come on.
How long before that?
Come on, man. Haloti Ngata been in the league. Haloti Ngata been in the league for about 10 years.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hold on. Name another one. TJ Ward is not good. Name somebody that's doing something besides whatever his name is.
Good?
Who?
You said TJ Ward isn't good?
TJ Ward's not an elite safety in the league. Come on, man. When has he made the Pro Bowl? Does he have a big contract? No. 0. Does he let him get anything? Man. Never. He's not good.
Yeah. What quarterback from Oregon has done anything? What quarterback from Oregon has done anything?
None of them.
None of them, man. I mean, Marcus Mariota. He's not going to be a star in the league. Hold on. And then,
No. How many Florida State quarterbacks?
First of all,
then you're going to look it up online and come up with some bullshit. I already know how you are, Kelly Mike. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Name the top FSU player in the league right now. Let's start there.
Hold on, real quick for the debate. I got my friend Nate from Oregon trying to get on the show. Please bring him on the line. I've been waiting for this lineup. Bring him on the line. 541 area code.
Hold on 1 second. What's his area code?
541.
I got him.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
541. You're on.
Hey,
what's going on? You're on
Lord, I've been waiting.
First.
I've been listening to this juicy conversation. What's up, guys? I'm Nate. I've been listening to this juicy conversation, and my God, I was like, please get me off of hold. I just want to comment on Eddie comment saying no one knows Oregon. Are you serious, Eddie? Are you serious? Oregon has one of the biggest marketing campaigns next to Apple. The reason why Florida State has those gloves is because of Nike. Oregon ripped up K-State last year in 2009. They were in the national championship. Oregon has been all over the news. If you turn on ESPN and look at any commercial, you're going to see a duck as one of the mascots in there. How could you say no one knows of Oregon? People say, I want to, is that the team with the green and yellow uniform? People know Oregon. I mean, are you serious?
But I'm understanding the football cachet, man. They're in the same with Florida State, Ohio State. Or they're in the same. They're not in the same league, man. Ohio. People know about them because of the Nike connection.
Because of their uniforms and Nike. That's it.
Yeah, and that's about it. But I mean, do they have the cachet of a Florida State, Alabama?
Technically, there's not that many schools like that. Period. But I mean, like I say, recently Oregon has been a top football school.
Yeah. Well, within a top.
Yeah, because they got the money. They got the money.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the schools have the money. Like Ohio State has one of the highest budgets. So but if you're comparing tradition, then no, then of course Oregon can't compete. If you're living in the past, of course, then Oregon can't compete. But if you're talking about today, I mean, I think within the past 10 years, Oregon is fairly well known. I mean, and they're known as the team. My buddy said that he was in Virginia, and he said that the radio person there was like, okay guys, we just came off a win, but guess what? Next week, guess who's coming to town? The Oregon Ducks. I mean, I feel like that's not a fair comment, Eddie, to say that people don't know Oregon. Like people don't know TCU. True, they're up and coming, but to say that people don't know Oregon, that's kind of a sign of someone who doesn't really watch much college football.
Well, here's the thing. Here's some of the things I've been discussing. When it comes to knowing Oregon, what do you know Oregon for? They had a good program. How many rings have they won? 0.
Wait, you said what do you know Oregon for?
You know Oregon for having a good season, but when it comes to winning, they don't win.
What are you talking about? Since when?
They have never won a national championship, Nate.
They never won a national championship.
Great. I mean, we haven't won a national championship, and there are a lot of schools that haven't won a national championship. But to say they don't win? We were in the national championship. You don't get to the national championship if you don't win. You don't get to the top Rose Bowl.
Okay, my thing is this, man.
Okay,
my thing is this about this game, because I got Florida State winning this game. My thing is this: when Oregon actually plays a team, a physical team out the SEC, when they did the LSU, when they did Auburn, they always get beat, man. I think, and that's the thing about the Pac-10 that I got issues with. That's the thing about the Pac-10 I got issues with, because it's like it's a finesse conference. They don't get physical out there in the Pac-12.
SEC team, they're playing Florida State, so we don't have to worry about.
I know, but when they play Florida State, when they play a team down here in the South, man,
see, that's what
LSU.
And remember
what I'm saying. They don't win, man. I'm just saying they get ran through because my thing is this: they don't play. They have a gimmicky offense, and they don't play a physical. They don't play a physical style of football. That's the problem, and that's why Kelly Mike is trying to interrupt what I'm saying, but he knows deep down. Okay, my thing is. All right, they don't play a physical style of offense, man. And when they meet a hard-nosed football team, they get smashed, man. You know it.
Hold it.
They get smashed.
Hold it.
No, let's listen to what this guy is saying.
No, true or false? True or false? Oregon was a Michael Dyer hand-on-the-ground run away from winning that national championship. True or false?
I don't know. I think the game was tied.
James, I swear, for some reason, SEC fans act like that game was a blowout. I keep telling them that shit was a field goal away from Oregon being national champions right now.
And
but for some reason,
I don't remember that.
No, but it wasn't a competitive game. Hold up. Auburn, first of all, Auburn dominated that game.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they dominated that game. Auburn dominated that game. What happened was Cam Newton was slipping in the game. He didn't have a great game that game.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
How could they dominate? So listen, do you
no, but they were close. If you watch that game, you can see that Auburn was the better team. If you watch that game,
it was going back and forth. That's why it was 14-17. Do you remember the play that changed the entire game around? Auburn's running back was running the ball. He got tackled, but he got tackled on top of an Oregon player. The Auburn player, he didn't even run. The coach from the sideline was yelling at him saying, "Run!" He took off. No one chased him because they thought the play was dead. And then they got a free touchdown. The end score was like 14-17. To say that he dominated, I mean, I don't know if you remember the game, but I watched the game and they didn't dominate. They were going back and forth. Now to comment on Oregon not being as physical, I will say I will agree. And Oregon has been known to be the fast team, and when you can prepare for us, that's how you can stop us because we're not as big until this year. And that's what all the commentators on ESPN are saying, that Oregon's a beat Stanford in the Pac-12, by the way. Stanford has one of the best lines in the country, or at least last year they did, has one of the best lines in the country, like SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, you name it. Stanford's one of the best. Oregon this year, they blew out Stanford. And what happened is they beefed up. Instead of having these linebackers that are 215 pounds getting ran over by a running back who's 230, Oregon now has linebackers who are 240, 250. Oregon's running backs are now not LaMichael James, who's 190, but Oregon now has Royce Freeman, the freshman player of the year, who's 230, 5'11", has another running back, 215. So as far as being physical, Michigan State thought that Oregon wasn't a physical team either, and then they got smashed. So when you say, what? Go ahead.
Go ahead, keep going. No, keep going. I'm sorry. So and then they got smashed. And Eddie, to your point that we were talking about much earlier, Michigan State was ranked. You can't say they weren't good because they were ranked number 8 when we smashed them, and they were still ranked until they lost to Ohio State just recently. So Oregon's defense, Oregon's offense, Oregon's physicality, they're a lot better. And a lot of commentators say if Oregon can bring the same physicality that they brought to the Arizona game, and by the way, Arizona was ranked number 7th in the nation, and we beat them 52-13. So, if the commentator said, if we bring the same physicality that we brought to Arizona, FSU has no chance. Although I don't quite agree with that. I think FSU, I would never put anything past them.
All right, I just want to speak because I just want to clear the airwaves. When you talk about schools like Michigan State, Arizona, those are basketball schools. They're not good in football. Maybe you're talking about
Eddie,
basketball.
You don't know football. I'm talking about this year.
Michigan State good at football.
Arizona was ranked number 7th in the nation.
State's been a pretty good program, though.
He doesn't know football, man.
Arizona's good at basketball and football. Answer the question.
Football.
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Hold on.
Is Michigan State good at football and basketball?
Oh my God. Do you know football here? Like Eddie, do you know basketball?
Are they a national power? Like when you think of teams right now,
and basketball.
When you think of teams right now, when you think of national powers, you think Alabama. You think
Florida State, Florida, Miami.
You think Florida State right now. You think those are national powers right now.
You're talking about tradition, guys. You're talking about tradition. We're talking about this year's play.
I want to say one more thing when they finish. Go ahead, Nate.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, if the argument here is about tradition, who has the tradition, then sure, you can go to Alabama. Sure, you can go to Florida. That's tradition. But if we're talking about this year, the 2014-2015 season as far as which teams are good, Eddie, if you know anything about college football, which is starting to sound like kind of dope because you're saying that they're not good, Michigan State, if you're ranked 8th in the nation, you're good. If you're ranked 7th in the nation, do you know how many teams there are in the nation? If you're ranked, the Pac-12 has the Pac-12 has 6 ranked top 25 teams, more than the SEC, more than ACC. That's why commentators say that the Pac-12 is one of the strongest conferences behind the SEC. Mm-hmm. But then they're going off tradition. Again, 6 ranked teams. Alabama, how many ranked teams have they beat? Florida State, how many ranked teams have they beat this year? If you want to talk about 50 years ago, great. If you want to talk about 10 years ago, great. That's tradition. But we're talking about this year. Oregon's beat Michigan State. Oregon's beat Oregon's beat number 8 Michigan State. Oregon's beat number 6 Stanford. Oregon's beat number 7 Arizona, and the list goes on.
All right. Here's the thing.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, finish.
Sorry, no.
Finish. Go ahead. Here's the thing, man. You said all this tradition. The Pac-12 is not good in football. We think about Pac-12, we think about one school, USC. Nobody else matters in the Pac-12. I done told you that 50 times.
Hey,
Nobody else matters in the Pac-12.
Excuse me, fellas. I don't know your names. What are your names again?
I'm Mike, man. You gotta realize, Nate, you can't win this type of argument against an SEC fan. All you can do is just sit back and laugh because they're gonna say what they want to say anyway.
Well, I mean, like if you know football, to say the Pac-12 is not good, everyone in the nation, it's not an argument. I have not heard one commentator say the Pac-12 wasn't good. Everyone knows the Pac-12 is good.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, and you just said they're not good. That means you don't know. Like, to say they're not good doesn't make sense. Like,
all right.
If you have 6 ranked top 25 teams, how are you not good? If you have the most ranked teams in the nation, how many championships did you win again?
How many teams in that conference have a national championship? I want you to answer that question.
That's tradition.
And when they say,
in the past, what about in the past?
Good this year.
In the past 10 years, how many teams? Hold on, in the past 10 years, then.
Hold on, Claudio. Don't start
in the past 5 years, then. In the past 5 years, how many of them teams won a national championship?
Hey,
in the past 3 years. In the past 3 years. 3 years.
Hold on. What are you arguing? Are you arguing tradition, or are you arguing who's good this year?
No, I mean, but you can have all these teams in the top 25, but when it's time for the championship, they're gonna flop. That's what he's saying.
Do you understand why?
There's only one team that's not done that out of the Pac-12, and that's USC.
How do you know they're gonna flop? First of all, Claudio, the BCS was biased towards the SEC. That's been
thank you.
That's not true. That is not true. That is not true.
Hold on, let me finish. How do you know that these Pac-12 schools are going to flop if they never even
Why do you keep saying that BCS was biased towards it? You have no evidence of that. You're talking about me coming up with stuff.
I have plenty of evidence of it.
There were different SEC teams that were winning the national championship.
I have evidence that is biased.
There were several. It was a diverse amount of SEC teams that won a championship. So the simple thing is bias.
It was LSU, Alabama, and Auburn in Florida. That's 4.
But see, here's what happens.
That's a lot of teams. That's a lot of teams in a short span of time to win a national championship.
You have 14
let me talk.
Yeah. No, like, here's what happens, though. And you said there's no evidence. I'll prove to you how there's evidence. I'll prove it from this year, and I'll prove it from years past. Last year, before our quarterback got hurt, Oregon was ranked number 2, right? So he gets hurt. We end up losing, obviously. We lose a game. We move from number 2 to number, 12 or 15. When Alabama this year lost, they lost from, and they lost later in the season, and they moved from a number 1 to a number 4. A number 1 to a number 4, and then other SEC teams lose. They only drop down a couple spots.
No, because y'all lost at the time. At the time, Arizona wasn't a top 10 team. At the time, Arizona wasn't a top 10 team. Alabama lost.
And what did I say? Claudio,
Alabama lost to Ole Miss, who was a top 10 team at the time. Ole Miss was a top 10 team at the time.
When Arizona beat Oregon, they weren't they weren't even ranked. Hold on, let me hear me out. When Arizona beat Oregon, they weren't even ranked. Why the hell weren't they? They were 6-0. They were undefeated. So why weren't they even in the top 25? Think about it.
Because they probably didn't beat nobody.
Can I answer that question?
Nah,
why they weren't ranked?
now.
Because here's the thing.
No.
Everybody says no football, right? We can agree to that, right? But when they talk about football every year, they pick the teams who are going to have a chance to win. Oregon, Arizona, Michigan State, whoever is not the list to win the championship when they do the Vegas odds. That is a fact. Because you go by history, who know football, it's the same schools, same conferences every year. It does not change.
Actually, Oregon is the odds-on favorite to win this playoff.
It doesn't change. That's a fact. That's all I'm
saying. Oregon, I just seen that Oregon had the highest percentage of chance to win this playoff.
Y'all could keep going because I haven't even spoken on this yet. Y'all keep going.
I would say this, though. Oregon was in the championship about to be 2 years ago, so, hey, school pretty good.
Probably what was the historical fact of the game? Who won the game? I don't want to hear about could have and should have. Who won the game? That's all I care about.
Hey, y'all still talking?
still got to the championship. That's what matters.
Y'all still talking?
Go ahead, James.
All right. Now let me bring up this point. SEC's favoritism, folks. Right? Y'all talk about winning national championships here and there and here and there. when we bring up the BCS here, say that that is the only reason why the SEC was able to get to where they are is because before the BCS, it was the Bowl Alliance. Before the Bowl Alliance, it was the Bowl Coalition. And during that time, where was the SEC in that time? It was Alabama and Florida, and that's it.
Exactly. Where did Auburn come from? Where did Auburn come from? Schools that were never good.
Where was LSU?
Auburn was good in the 90s. They were good.
They only had that 1 year that they went 11-0. That was 1 year. Okay? That's one. Number two.
One. Thanks.
You got Tennessee was good then, too. Tennessee was a top-tier team, too.
Hold it. Number two. When have you ever seen a preseason poll where South Carolina was number 5 in the country?
Go ahead. I got one question.
Yeah, Georgia ranked 2 up there, too.
Have you ever seen an undefeated team not ranked number 1 in the country? Answer that question for me.
Yes,
when was
Marshall this year. Yes, Marshall this year.
Marshall's not good at anything.
Hey, you just said, have you ever seen an undefeated team not ranked? Marshall this year. Florida State dropped down the rankings. I mean, they're not number 1. So, what's the point of that question? I just answered it.
And just to reiterate what Nate was saying, I'm looking at it right here. Oregon loses to an unranked Arizona, who for some reason was unranked. The next week, Arizona jumps from unranked to number 10 in the country, and Oregon falls all the way from number 2 to number fucking 12. What world does that make sense in?
Yeah, SEC, that would never happen in the SEC. If like this year, who was it? Michigan. Ole Miss lost to LSU. LSU wasn't ranked. Ole Miss only dropped from 4 to 6 or something like that. SEC bias. Just to answer the question earlier, prove the SEC bias. That's SEC bias right there. When an SEC team loses, they drop one or two spots.
You take a school like Michigan. You take a school like Mississippi State. Yes, they beat 3 ranked top 10 teams, but now look at those top ranked. Now none of those teams were even. 2 of those teams didn't even finish with 500 records. But since they were preseason ranked so high, they're gonna have victories against top ranked teams.
Right.
Preseason ranked all the SEC teams in the top 25.
Yep. I think Mike is an Oregon fan. I think you don't know switch from USC.
I'm not an Oregon fan. I'm just a fan of the truth. I'm a USC fan.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's just begging for a Pac-12 team to just win. He's just begging for a Pac-12 team to just win so he can brag.
I've been saying all this year, I'm not an Oregon fan and I'm not a Mariota fan. But like I said, I think they're going to beat FSU.
Yeah, you are.
I think they're going to beat FSU.
Wait, are you guys going to have a conversation?
Because USC's been hard. That's why he has y'all excited now. He has a big voice now.
Wait, hold on. First of all, Eddie, who is your team?
My team is Florida State. What you want to talk about?
Oh, my God.
When did you become a Florida State fan? Because I've never heard you for them before.
Pick a school in Florida. What you want to do? What you want to do? Pick one. FSU, USF, Florida State, Miami.
That's your school. That's your school. FAMU.
FAMU will beat Oregon.
Hey guys, are you going to have this radio broadcast app? Are you guys going to have the radio broadcast after the FSU and Oregon game?
Yeah, we will.
Oh,
yeah,
my,
come back.
Listen, please let a brother come back. Please let a brother come back. Hey, but listen, if Oregon loses, you might not hear from me, though.
We want to hear from you, man. Come back. I know they're going to lose, but just come back, man.
Right.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I just want to say one point, though. In a previous conversation a few weeks ago, Eddie said to me, Eddie goes, randomly, Nate, Florida State would smash Oregon. So naturally, I'm going to defend my school because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to defend your school, your region, your territory, whatever, right? But then he said, even though we're not playing each other, I know we would smash. And then he goes, you can't prove that Oregon would smash FSU. And I just want to point something out. Florida State played a little small team called Notre Dame. You guys saw that game, right? And Florida State barely won in a thriller. I mean, it was a thriller down to the line. I mean, I'm talking about highest ratings and all that, right? They barely won. Then Notre Dame, after the loss, goes and plays Arizona State, Pac-12. Arizona State blows them out by multiple touchdowns. Then Notre Dame also goes and plays USC, who is at the bottom of the Pac-12 right now. They got blown away. Now, let me say this. UCLA, who did not play Notre Dame, but did play Arizona State and it played USC, UCLA blew those teams out. Now, here's a clincher. Oregon blew out UCLA. So Oregon blew out a team that blew out all those other teams. So I'm saying, like, even though we won't know who's going to win until obviously New Year's Day, but I'm just saying, Eddie, if I were you, I'd be a little afraid because Oregon just pretty much ran across a team that smashed you guys or smashed your team.
Here's the reason I'm not afraid about. I've been saying this from day one. Oregon does not get the type of talent that Florida, that these small schools get.
Oregon has the Heisman Trophy winner right now. What are you talking about?
All-American. Like Oregon has an All-American cornerback? All-American cornerback? All-American center?
You just said in a previous conversation that the reason why Oregon been getting beat because they have running back 190, linebacker 215. That's a fact. These guys are NFL already. Oregon doesn't get NFL talent, man. That's why the powerhouse.
Like I said, Eddie, name me the talent that comes. Name me the talent that comes from. Name me one Florida State. Name me one Florida State player in the league right now that's better than Kiko Alonso.
Say that again.
Name me one Florida State player in the league right now that's better than Kiko Alonso.
What's Kiko Alonso? Who's that?
Shit.
You don't know sports. I'm trying to tell you, you don't know college sports. Brother, forget that. Hey, Eddie, have you ever heard of a dude named Jonathan Stewart? Do you even know who he is?
Kiko Alonso, man. Tell me who he is.
Do you know who Jonathan Stewart is?
He's a linebacker from Oregon. He's one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know the linebacker.
Him and D'Angelo Williams.
Linebackers is.
Jonathan Stewart, Eddie. Have you ever heard of a guy named Jonathan Stewart?
Come on,
running back from guess where? No, he's a running back from Oregon, and he's a beast.
Okay, come on, Jonathan Stewart for the Panthers?
Yes, he's from Oregon.
He's not good. He never had a good season ever in the NFL. What are you talking about?
No, he
hasn't had a good season?
No.
Oh,
ever.
Too dang.
Ever.
Well, hey,
that's a fact.
I will admit this, guys. I will admit this. I'm a college guy. I know a lot about it. I don't know about the NFL. And, Eddie, I just want you to admit that you don't know about college. To say the fact ain't good. I just want you to admit it. Admit it on air. You don't know college.
Don't let these guys on the phone deceive you. They're trying to hurt your feelings, man. It's a fact that Michigan State is a basketball school. It's a fact that if you talking about basketball,
Eddie,
you talking about basketball,
Eddie,
Arizona.
Give me the definition of what a fact is. Give me the definition of what a fact is. Give me the definition of what a fact is. You're an intelligent guy.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you right now.
You can go ahead and look it up. That's fine. Give me the definition of what a fact is.
The fact of the matter is.
No, give me the definition
right
of what a
now,
fact is.
I know.
Do you
right
know
this
what
is the fact.
Do you know what the word means?
This is the fact.
Do you know what the word means?
You
probably
don't.
don't.
Let me tell you. I know
What
right now, as a
fact
matter of fact, that Oregon will never win a national championship. That's a fact.
Ooh.
That's a fact.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a fact right there.
I still want you to define that word fact, though. I still want you to define that word fact. Because the thing Michigan State, the basketball team and not a football team, is not a fact. Especially since they were good. I don't know about now. They're not.
Let me get this.
I
got one question, you. Then we're gonna end this debate. You telling me FSU gonna be Alabama and FSU in the same season? Answer that question.
I didn't understand. You say it again.
So you telling me you think FSU gonna be Alabama? You think Oregon gonna be FSU and Alabama this year?
Yeah, I thought you meant Oregon. I was like, yeah. I think Oregon's going to beat FSU. That's for sure. I'm saying it to your face, Eddie.
So
I think Oregon's
right,
going to beat FSU.
Oregon will never win a national championship. I'm still right.
And not only do I think Oregon's going to beat FSU, I think it's going to be a blowout. And that's why
I said I think it's going to be a blowout too.
You think so? I like that.
Like I said, if Florida State lets Oregon get up by 2 touchdowns like it's been doing these other schools, they're not going to catch Oregon. It's not going to happen.
Oregon doesn't have the talent that FSU has on offense or defense. Let's be real.
They don't. They don't.
Wait, what? What?
That's why I'm going. If I look at it like this, you guys can knock Jameis Winston all you want to, say he hasn't been playing well, but hey, I would take Jameis Winston's best versus Mariota's best, And even though Mariota's going to win the Heisman, if you put both of them at the top of their games, if you put both of them at the top of their games, I put Jameis Winston above him.
I want to save this for a little bit later because I've been wanting to stop you all week. So I want to save this for a little bit later. Hey, look, right now we're gonna I'm gonna put some of you guys on hold because I want to change the subject here. I want to talk about this Heisman Trophy race.
Oh God.
Let me. We got the three Heisman Trophy finalists. We got Marcus Mariota from Oregon. We got Amari Cooper from Alabama, and we got Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin. I'm thinking it's going to be a Mariota runaway to win this Heisman Trophy. What do you think about that, Claudio? And be truthful.
Of course he's going to win the thing on the award. I know that. Even though it should be Amari Cooper if I had a vote. But, I mean,
okay, let's say this. Make your argument for Amari Cooper.
Because he is the leader of that Alabama offense, and he's done it against the top defenses in the country in the SEC, and he has been a superstar. He has changed the game for Alabama in so many facets, and I think that he's just done it against better competition, and that's why I would go with Amari Cooper.
Okay. What about you, Mike? What do you think?
I see the finalists. Cooper's balling. But I don't think we have seen a receiver win the Heisman. So, if you look at the odds, Mariota, he might be the guy that might go and get it. Is James Winston, is he one of the finalists again? I didn't see all of them on the finalists.
Hell no. James Winston, hell no. James, what do
I didn't see all the list. That's what I was asking. I've seen a couple. I didn't see everybody on the list, though. Okay.
He's seen. What are your thoughts about the Heisman finalists?
Man, I have Mariota in the runaway. He's been the most valuable player, in college football. He pretty much is, the Oregon team and the Oregon offense. I can't say the same. Well, I could say the same about Melvin Gordon, but not for Amari Cooper because, they have more players on that team that can make an impact, for Alabama, than with Oregon. They have Mariota, but none of those, other players make as big of an impact for their team or, is as important as Mariota is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Amari Cooper. Like I said, I've been a fan of his this year. I kind of had to come around to him. I wasn't that big on him last year. I don't think he's a Heisman finalist though. I think, like I said, I've seen receivers have better seasons and not be Heisman finalists. So like I said, I don't think he. To me, for him to be a finalist and really be considered, to me, he would have to have maybe returned some punts for touchdowns or, did something on special teams. And I didn't see that, and like I said, I've seen guys have better seasons, so like I said, he's a good receiver. I look forward to seeing what he can do in the NFL, but, I don't know, like I said, I don't know how he got ranked this high, to tell you the truth. I would have put, I'd have put maybe one of the other quarterbacks ahead of him. I could have put J.T. Barrett ahead of him, Dak Prescott, any of those guys. I would have put ahead of Amari Cooper. I don't see the sense in that. As for Mariota, like I said, I think he's going to run away with this thing. I think it's been, a couple of years coming now. He's, he's the best quarterback on, one of the best teams in the country. He's been playing, at a very high level. And I think Oregon's going to get their first Heisman Trophy winner. And like I said, I think he's going to carry that momentum on over Florida State. And he's probably going to carry it on through the draft too. Like I said, even though I'm really not that big, on him as a NFL prospect. There's like all the whispers are in place for him to be a
I can't wait to this game.
Top 5 kind of guy. What was that, Claudio?
God, I can't this game, man. because I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't wait to this game. I'm telling you right now, when Jameis Winston sees him get the Heisman Trophy, that's just gonna fuel his fire. And he's going to be preparing when he's going on his little circuit tour and stuff like that.
When is Jameis Winston ever prepared for anything?
Jameis Winston will be in the film room studying, preparing, and he's going to pick Oregon apart.
When is he ever?
He's going to pick them apart, boy.
When has he ever done that?
This is going to be I can't wait. I can't wait, boy. Jameis is going to show. He's going to show. This game. He's going to show America. He's going to stick it to America. He's going to stick it to them, and he's going to be like, "Hey, I'm the best one out here. Don't even think this dude is even in my league." That's what Jameis is going to do.
Let me ask you this question, Claudette. I've been wanting to ask you this all week, and I want you to be truthful.
Oh God!
If there was no last year, if you had to judge Jameis Winston based completely on this year, where would you have him rated?
In regards to what?
In regards to anything. In regards to the Heisman, in regards to the draft, and in general.
I would say he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. I wouldn't have him up for the Heisman.
Based on this season now, not based on last season. Based on this season. Where do you have
because
him?
he's shown that he can be very accurate, and he's shown that when you need him. He's shown that he's very accurate. He's shown that when you make all the throws, he's shown that he has spots in the season that shows that he can be a very accurate quarterback, and then he can make all the NFL throws.
This is a quarterback that's thrown 24 touchdowns.
And then when the game's on the line, you know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say, James. When the game's on the line, he can deliver. He delivers when the team needs him to deliver. He is the winningest. He has the highest winning percentage out of any quarterback in the history of college football. So, I mean,
I don't even think that's true. Why do you? Who told you that? I don't even. There's been other.
He has the highest winning percentage. He has the highest. He has gone 2 straight seasons. 2 straight regular seasons without losing a game. 2 complete seasons without losing a game. And it's just funny that you would even say that Mariota's better than this guy.
The first quarterback
Mariota's lost 4 games. Jameis Winston hasn't lost any games as a quarterback. You know that? And then the objective of the game, you can give me any type of statistic you can want to. That touchdown interception ratio, you can do whatever you want to, James. But at the end of the day, he has won every single game that he has started. And that trumps everything. That trumps everything that you say. That's why I'm a fan of him. That's why Chi-Town's a fan of him. That's why a lot of people want him over Marcus Mariota. People want to draft him over Marcus Mariota.
Mike is a grown man. Mike, are you a Jameis Winston fan?
Yes, he is. He can tell you that right now.
Let him speak. He's a grown man. Mike, are you a Jameis Winston fan?
Speaking.
Mike?
Ask him.
He said no.
He didn't say that. Stop lying, man. Chi-Town, man, you there?
No.
Chi-Town, you there?
It doesn't sound like he wants anything to do with you. I'd leave him alone about it.
Oh, he's trying to... Hold on.
Yeah, like I said, dude, Jameis Winston is throwing
Chi-Town, you there?
interceptions.
Chi-Town. Chi-Town.
Yes, sir.
You there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Cozell. I'm still there.
Well, answer the question. Answer that question.
Are you a Jameis Winston fan, Mike? Yes or no?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I want to see the man succeed, man.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Mike. That's not.
Hey, Chi-Town, don't you want him to come? Don't you want him? Hold on. I think part of you wants him to fall all the way to the Bears so the Bears can draft him. I had this punch in the back of my mind. Don't you?
That means his career will be over.
You want this man. You like the fact that the people don't like him in the media because you want him to fall all the way down to where the Bears are going to be at. Isn't that true?
If the Bears decide to go in that direction in the draft and he's there, I mean, hey, you need a quarterback.
Are you crazy? Why are you letting Gluzzo brainwash you? Stop it.
It's the truth, man. I know. I can just tell. You can tell. I know. The dude likes Winston. The Tampa City of Tampa wants Winston. I'm just letting you know that. They want Winston. So, yeah. No. They want a franchise quarterback down here.
Hold on. Let me bring Eddie back on here. Eddie, what are your views on this, man?
Well, here's the thing, man. I like the question that you asked. The way Mike is answering the question to where he knows he will get the answer that he wants. But the truth of the matter is, when has a quarterback been undefeated and not been up for the Heisman? The reason why Jameis Winston is not going to win the Heisman is because it's off the field issues. He should be winning the Heisman this year. That's going to give it to him.
He's thrown 17 interceptions this year.
Yes, but he's brought
undefeated, Mike. I know you, Mike. You know only when it matters, Mike. You know that.
He's not the only quarterback that's ever went undefeated. That's the thing. Carlos making that a lie.
He's the only African American quarterback that has been undefeated, won a championship. They don't want him to win the Heisman or the national championship in the same season. He's the only one who went through those issues. That's a fact.
What is his name? Tony Rice did the same thing for Notre Dame.
Tony Rice didn't win the Heisman. Tony Rice did not win the Heisman.
He did not. That's what I'm saying. He didn't win it.
No,
Tommy Frazier didn't win. Tommy Frazier didn't win the Heisman in Nebraska, and they went undefeated for 3 years. So what's your point, Claude? What is your point?
They didn't go undefeated for 3 years. They didn't go
didn't.
undefeated for 3 whole years. They did not.
They won the national championship 3 straight years. Are you crazy?
They won it twice, but they didn't win it 3 straight years. That's not true.
They won it twice. You don't got to look it up. We know we're from Florida. They beat Florida.
Hmm?
Yep. They beat Miami the first year, and then the second year they beat Florida.
Something's wrong with my computer.
No.
Anyway,
no, it was 94, 95, and 97.
Yeah, but Tommy Frazier wasn't there in 97. 97, they split with Michigan.
That's true. That was Scott Frost. Yeah, all right. But anyway, they went undefeated 2 years in a row, and Tommy Frazier didn't win the Heisman, so what does that mean?
Because he's an African-American quarterback, man. They're not going to give no Heisman to him. He's not even going to be a quarterback in the NFL. You know that.
But, RG3 won the Heisman. This is a different time. Black quarterbacks are winning the Heisman. Cam Newton won the Heisman. Black quarterbacks.
Hold on, he didn't win the national championship, though. He didn't win the national championship.
Cam Newton did win a national championship. Are you high?
No, RG3 didn't.
Cam Newton did. What's your point?
Yeah, but Jameis Winston has been. He won the Heisman. He won the He won the Heisman. Won the national championship. Took his team to 2 straight years of an undefeated record. 2 straight years, man. Undefeated record.
I don't understand what. Like I said, we do. Okay, he's undefeated. I understand that. There's no arguing that. But do you realize that?
If that dude didn't look like the way he looked like, even with his off the field issues, he'd be looked as like Tebow. You know what I'm saying? He'd be looked the same way as Tim Tebow would. So
I agree.
He's
hold on,
a threatening
so
figure.
You're trying to tell me that you believe Jameis Winston deserves the Heisman this year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He should be on the panel.
Let me go ahead and put you on hold, Eddie.
Oh my goodness.
Let me bring Dave back on here, man. Dave, speak some sense to us, man. What are your thoughts about this Heisman race, man?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
All right. So the Heisman race, first of all, even though I'm a strong Oregon fan, let me just show love to Jameis Winston. The dude's a winner. Like you said, he's a winner. If the game's on the line, he wins ball games, and not taking that away from him. But as far as, he should be in the race, I don't know his interception count, but someone said earlier 17 interceptions. To get in the Heisman race, Dak Prescott made, had a bad game against Alabama and just threw 3 interceptions and he got kicked out. How do you think you're going to get in a Heisman race with 17 interceptions? But anyway, I don't know that for a fact if he has 17. But listen, here's a fun fact that
he does.
Here's a fun fact that my buddy texted me. He said that if you add up the yards and touchdowns of Gordon and Cooper, the second and third place in the Heisman poll, Mariota still has more yards and touchdowns than them both combined, with 1,700. Them both combined, they have 40 touchdowns. Mariota has 53. have 3,900, pretty much 40, so 3,992 yards between the two of them. Mariota has 4,500. So it's like, that's why he should win, because he's better than both of them combined. And then someone made a comment saying that Oregon Mariota, the reason why he's able to do well is because they don't have anybody else to go to. That's not true. That's not like Obama says. That's simply not true. It's just not true. Because if you and I know the person hasn't watched the Oregon game. I know that because if you watch him again, Royce Freeman, the running back, he was a freshman of the year. The receivers, we have a receiver named Carrington. That dude's a beast, and he catches everything. And we have a All-American track star who is also on the football team. The second he gets in space, he's a speedster. So we have options. We actually have more weapons than Florida State.
Yeah, Oregon. I mean, Oregon, like I said, Oregon has weapons. You look at it going into the season. Royce Freeman, he wasn't even supposed to be the feature back dude from last year who backed up.
Thomas Tyner.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tyner.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo.
But Freeman's a beast. Yeah, they're already saying that you're already saying they got him ranked right after dude from LSU in terms of fresh running backs, Cornette. He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, I'll bring up this point about that matchup between FSU and Oregon, right?
Wait, what?
The matchup between FSU and Oregon.
Okay.
Pretty much going to come down to this, right? It's going to come down to Rashad Green against Ekpreolamu, and it's going to come down to the Oregon receivers against Jeff Ramsey. Basically. Those two matchups will basically show you who will have the advantage in that game.
But don't you think the defensive ends, like we have two for sure dudes who are probably going to go pro in defense. Don't you think the defense makes a difference? Because Florida State, they don't really have a defense. I mean, Oregon's defense isn't great either. Don't get me lying to you. We've had a couple of good games of defense, but we're not great at it. But Florida State's defense is I just don't know who they can have to contain them. And I'm thinking to myself, Oregon's going to score regardless. But will Florida State score every time? And just from watching them play, who did they play last Saturday? I was watching that game. They played. Who did Florida play last Saturday?
Or Miami?
No, Miami was a couple weeks ago. Like this past Saturday.
Who Florida State played?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played Georgia Tech, and they barely won.
Oh yeah. So I watched them play Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech stopped them quite a few times. But they barely won. They won by a touchdown in that game. Yeah. So the thing is Oregon's going to score, and Oregon will keep scoring. You may stop us a couple times, but we'll keep scoring. I feel like Oregon defense is good enough to stop you guys a few different rounds. I mean, a few different possessions. So if you're going to stop us, if we're going to stop Florida State, but how's Florida State going to stop us with the defense I saw against Georgia Tech? There's no way.
Yeah, I look at it like this. Like I said, I've watched Oregon this year. I've watched games where they've gone into games with a similar score at halftime, and then the next thing you know, they score 30 points within the next quarter and a half.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, and the last time they went to the national championship, was in 2010 or whatever, and they had Duron Thomas at quarterback. Yeah, 2009. And they had Duron Thomas at quarterback. Mariota is a better quarterback than Duron Thomas. I mean that so like I said, this is a better Oregon team. Their offense, like I said, their offense is explosive. They got, like I said, this is a different kind of Oregon team. This is, like I said, this is the Oregon team that I watch that I'm like, okay, these guys can win a national championship. And like I said, if that last Oregon team could do what they did, there's no reason I can't think that this team couldn't do even better than that, because I know that this is a better team from what I've, from my eyeball test.
Oh, right on, man, right on. I mean, there's a lot coming from somebody on the East Coast.
Well, no, I'm in California.
Okay, now it makes sense. Oh, okay, I wonder why. Yeah, no, man, I completely agree. But not to take away from Jameis Winston. I mean, the dude, he is a beast, and his arm is unreal. I don't know how good his line is, and I think that could be why he's having trouble, because I'm not sure if his line is that great. I don't watch that many Florida State games, but Jameis Winston, I'm not gonna put it past him, man. Like, if it came down to, for some reason, it was tied, fourth quarter, 5 minutes left, I'm going to be petrified because I know Jameis Winston. There's something about him that fires up the people around him, and they do some crazy things. Like to win, 6 or 7 nail-biter games in a row? Oh, that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's why, like I said, I think, if it's a close game, like I say, Jameis, that's when he shines. But like I say, if Florida, if like I say, Florida State cannot let Oregon get up on them like they've been doing these other teams all season. Like I said, if Oregon gets up by 2 touchdowns on Florida State, they're not gonna look back.
Jameis Winston has came back. Hold on, Jameis Winston has came back 3 other times down 21 points.
And none of those.
Come on, man. That don't even phase Jameis, man. That don't even phase Jameis.
But the problem is that was against teams like Duke. Like, I saw that game. That
happened against Florida. That happened against Louisville. That happened against Miami.
Florida is sorry as shit. Are you crazy?
Notre Dame.
Right. Yeah, these are undisciplined teams. Oregon is very disciplined. So if they get up, you're not going to stop the scoring machine. So I think what the point is if they get up by 2 touchdowns, they're not looking back. They'll keep scoring, and you're not stopping it.
I was like, can I bring up something that, cause that I was trying to bring up about, these Florida State teams coming back and stuff like that, right?
Oh, God.
It was like this guy said, Oregon is disciplined. Because when you look at the game like Louisville, and you look at the game like Miami, those were a tale of 2 different halves. They were doing conservative stuff in the second half. Both of those teams were.
Yeah.
Because with that Miami game, the middle was wide open the whole game. It was like there was no middle linebacker for Florida State. And for some reason, they went away from throwing it to that middle.
Right.
For that Louisville game, right? They went away from throwing it to Devontae Parker. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but you got to get that guy the ball. Devontae Parker is one of the best receivers in the country. You tell me if you can't even get that ball to him that whole half, I don't think it's a lockdown. I don't think
right.
Jalen Ramsey's good, but he's not good enough to lock down a receiver like Devontae Parker. No.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, it's all about, doing what works, and you don't go away from what works. And I don't see Oregon going away from what works if it's good enough to score against Florida State. You didn't see Georgia Tech going away from what works when they were facing Florida State in the ACC championship game. Because, I mean, if they could go for it on 4th down with the quarterback and then still get a first down on Florida State, then why would they go away from that offense?
Right.
That's discipline, and discipline was what made that score close as it was. Because Georgia Tech really didn't have a good defense to begin with, but they were still able to score with Florida State.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying, brother.
Yeah, Claudio, I got to go ahead and make that do that thing I was telling you about. You can go ahead and take over the studio. That'd be great.
All right. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hold on, let me put Ed on real quick. Ed.
Man, I'm amazed by some of the comments that I'm hearing, man. It sounds like we have a bunch of bandwagon Oregon fans. I can't believe Mike from Cali playing that game.
Oh,
Mike, he ain't no Oregon fan. We have a bunch of bandwagon Oregon fans. I just can't believe the comments I'm hearing. It's just unbelievable.
I thought you were talking about me, Eddie, because I'm like, I went there, brother.
I'm some of these other guys, man. Mike from Cali, come on, Mike.
I don't think they're bandwagon Oregon fans. I think it's more of an observation.
Are you talking about me? No, wait. Is he talking about me?
He might be.
James just don't like Jameis. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Hey, fellas, man, it was good to talk to you, man. I got to get ready for dinner and take care of the baby though, man. But I'll definitely be calling in after the Florida State game, man.
All right,
no doubt.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, man. And I can't wait for the new year to talk about this.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Nate.
All right. You guys have a good night. And Eddie, thanks for telling me about this show right here. It's a good show.
No problem.
All
right. Adios, guys.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens later on in the season. Well, on September 1st, or not September 1st, January 1st. with Oregon and the national championship, I should say. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If you had to pick right now, who's going to win it? You have. Let me start with you, Shot-Town. Who you got?
So about winning the whole thing.
Yeah. If you had to pick somebody right now.
Like I said, Florida State. I got Florida State winning the whole thing.
Who you got, James?
Oregon.
All right, and you got who you got, Florida State?
You know I got Florida State, man. I'm not an Oregon bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Florida, actually, believe it or not.
Where's our good old friend Tony, man?
Hold on. Before I leave again, I want to say my part. I want to say, actually, you know what? I got to be truthful. I think Alabama's going to win it. But like I said, if any team can beat Alabama, I think it's either going to be Florida State or Oregon. So like I'm happy to watch it, but I think Alabama is actually the best team out of all these teams. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I got to go. I'll be back later.
But Mike, I thought you said Ohio State could beat Alabama.
What you said?
I thought you said Ohio State could beat Alabama.
I think they can. Like I said, I'm excited to watch this, man. I want to see all these teams play. I think Alabama's the best team, but I think if a team can beat them, I think it's going to be one of these 4 teams. I think these are also other talented teams, and I think they're teams that play a type of style. I mean, like I said, when people hold on. Okay, I got about 10 minutes left. All right, when people talk about, Alabama winning these games in the trenches, SEC or not, there's not a lot of schools that can match up with Alabama in the trenches. That's just because of their recruiting. I mean, shit. What other schools can? Like I said, what other schools can match up? Maybe Ole Miss, because they got big dudes too. But other than that, there's not that many schools that can match up with them, whether in the SEC or NFL or any other conference in the trenches. So, and like I said, in this Alabama offensive and defensive lines aren't the same ones, as in previous years. They're just not. Clausel, like I said, even you admitted it. This Alabama defense is not the same kind of defense that it's been. Even the offense. The offense looks good. I like the way the offense looks, but the defense has been the same. And I think, like I said, if they get into a scoring battle with a team that can score just as or more points than them, like Oregon or Ohio State, or like I said, if FSU turns their game on and FSU, I would take them because, like I say, I've just noticed certain things in the way that Alabama's playing that lets me know that, like I said, they're very susceptible to get beat, and by type of teams. I think all these teams, especially the way Ohio State's playing, well, the way I can't say the way they've been playing, but the way they look with this one quarterback, they look like these other teams, like teams that beat Alabama.
I have one question for Mike before you go. When did you become an Oregon fan?
I'm not an Oregon fan. I'm just telling them, just speaking the truth. Like I said, I never really liked Oregon. Like I said, I'm not an Oregon fan. I'm not a big fan of Mariota, but like I said, I think they match up well, and I think they, like I said, I look at the matchups. And the matchups let me know. Like I said, I've looked at the way Florida State's been playing. Florida State's been coming behind all these games, and I know that when you get an offense like Oregon, like I said, they can put up 20, 30 points in a snap. You're not going to come back the same way you Clemson or Georgia Tech, because they're not the same type of offense. It's a type of beat. So like I said, like I say, if Florida State plays up to their potential, then yeah, like I said, I think they can beat any of these teams. But if they try that comeback stuff against a good team, it's not going to work. I'm telling you right now. And that goes for Oregon. That goes if they beat Oregon. If they play Bama, Ohio State the same way, they're going to get. If they play them like that, they're going to get beat. I would have rather seen Oregon, Ohio State, and Alabama football. To tell you the truth, I'd have rather seen that and then seen the winner of those two play in the national championship.
We get a chance to see both of them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's true on that, because they're going to have to play a lot better, Oregon offensive machine. So, the task will be very, very difficult.
But my thing is that I really...
I'm going to take a short break, but I'm going to stay online. I will be back for overtime because I want to call out Clausel and his favorite friend Charles Barkley again. They've been doing more.
Hey, guess who's on now? Hey, guess who's on? Speak, bro.
I'm not for it. Ooh.
You bitches. Y'all talking crazy on here with that FCC hating shit again.
I didn't write it down.
I thought I was going to get to avoid all this FCC hating shit, and I cannot believe I come on here and you bitches on here on your periods again.
I'm just looking.
So if you had to pick, hey Wiley, if you had to pick a team to win the whole thing, who do you got?
Oregon. I've already picked the team to win the whole thing.
Oh please. So you think they ain't gonna beat Florida State, man? Whatever. All right.
He did do it. But Tony, why is it trying to beat Oregon and Alabama though? Will you still say Oregon on Tony?
Look, Alabama is the best team in the country, but Oregon will beat them.
Well, they go to the SEC, not getting that title again.
Oregon's offense right now, most dominant offense I've seen in college football since the Miami Hurricane reignings of the 80s. The offense Mariota is running right now, and them boys, they're clicking like a train on a railroad track. And ain't nothing gonna stop it. Ain't nothing gonna stop that train. Tell me something that can stop a train other than another train. And I don't see no other train big enough in these four teams or three other teams that's gonna stop that train in Oregon.
Oregon is not good.
Okay.
Let's say Graham gets that grade to Alabama. Let's say Alabama tries to be insane. They come out and play Bama, and their defense is coming after them, not lighting no boys up, being physical. They go against a real good physical defense that can put.
Ain't it Florida? Who are the two teams playing each other?
Florida State, Oregon, Alabama, Ohio State.
Ohio State is about to get fucking drugged. They should not even be in this playoffs. I'm still mad about that. There is no way in hell you take Baylor and TCU and say that Ohio State, who played one top 20 team the entire year, is better than a team that played 2 and 3 top 10 teams. And then they're going to say, but look at them in the top 60. Fuck the top 60. What about the top 20?
Yeah.
That's why I was saying that I kind of felt sorry for TCU and Baylor. I was really shocked, like, wow, I didn't see Ohio State. I thought Ohio State might have got left out, but that's why I was saying
they dug deep. Chi-Town, they dug deep to find an excuse to put them in. Talking about they played more top 60 teams. Who gives a fuck about them playing top 60 teams? What about top 20 teams? They played one top 20 team and lost.
And they only lost 2.
Exactly. But the thing is, the one top 20 team they did play, they lost 2. Baylor and TCU played top 20 teams and beat them. They beat Oklahoma. They both beat Oklahoma. Then Baylor beat TCU, who was in the top 10 when Baylor beat them.
That's why I was saying that, it kind of got it right out in the playoff. I think they need to expand it to adding 4 more teams, man. This year, it would have came in real perfect because something like this is going to happen again, and it may happen next year, man. It's just being so competitive, man. It's like a lot of good things out there.
I really think this was more of the committee sending a shot over the bow of the Big 12 to tell them, get you a championship game or else you will never be put in to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, well, the way that the way that it's set up now is that one of those five conferences is left out of the playoff. As long as it's the playoff, one of them is going to be left out. So, sooner or later, they're going to expand that thing to either 8 teams or 6. Most likely 8. But, right now, like Tony said, Ohio State shouldn't be in there. I didn't think that they were going to be in there at the beginning of the season because I didn't think their schedule was strong enough. Even with that, Big Ten title game, I didn't think their schedule was strong enough. Plus, it's also Virginia Tech. So 500 teams right now. Virginia Tech's at 500. Who's the better team? Virginia Tech, West Virginia, or Baylor? Out of those three, Virginia Tech is the bottom of all of those teams. So why are they going to put in Ohio State over either one of those teams in the Big 12?
Think about it. Ohio State beat Wisconsin in their championship game. Wisconsin wasn't even in the top 10.
Nope. And Kansas State was the 7th ranked.
I mean, how are they a top 4 team when you played one top 20 team the entire year?
Yep.
That's how that thing was set up, And Baylor beat Kansas State, and Kansas State was a top 10 team.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Kansas State was ranked number 9 in the country on the last week, and Baylor beat them. And you're going to tell me Ohio State deserves to be in over Baylor when they beat TCU and Kansas State in the top 10, and fucking Ohio State ain't played but one top 10 team and they lost? That makes no damn sense. But then you want to say they played tougher top 60. Top 60 my ass.
Yeah, it's not like, every team in Division I for the FBS can, schedule, all those other teams in the Big 5. Florida State was like the only one that had the non-conference schedule where they faced, 2 teams in the Big 5 conferences, and Notre Dame is independent. No other team can really do that because this is very tough to pull off. And plus Notre Dame has an ACC, what do you call it? Like they gotta play at least, 4 or 5 ACC teams to begin with. So that's almost like a conference game in itself.
The bottom line is it's all about money, and we all know that. If it wasn't going to be Ohio State, they were hoping it was going to be Notre Dame. It's all about the money. It's all about the viewership. It's all about who's going to actually travel to buy those tickets. It's all about the money. It doesn't matter who the best teams are because usually it ain't the best teams in college football that even play for the championship. It's the most known teams, the well-known teams, and the big money teams that play for the championship because while they want to act like it's a sport, it's a business.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I kind of want to curtail this conversation more towards the league, and actually we can connect the college and the league. I want to get to this debate about Mariota and Winston, and Ed, I want you to get into this conversation too.
Okay.
I want you to tell me who will end up being after this Oregon FSU game. Who will be the better pro player, Marcus Mariota or Jameis Winston? Let's start with you, Wiley. Wiley, let's start with you. Who will be a better?
I don't said this for the last 8 weeks. Marcus Mariota is going to win the Heisman, and Marcus Mariota is going to go before Jameis Winston in the draft. I don't care where it happens. The first quarterback off the board will be Marcus Mariota. I'm not saying he's going to be first overall. I'm saying the first quarterback off the board will be Marcus Mariota. Bottom line.
Who will be a better quarterback in the long run in the NFL, though?
Marcus Mariota. He's got the better intangibles. He can run the ball. He can throw a ball. He's much more cerebral. And Jameis seems to always fold under pressure. You keep talking about they keep coming back. It ain't Jameis bringing them back. It's that top talent at FSU, they wouldn't be winning. It ain't because of Jameis they winning.
All right, Chi-Town, man. What's your take?
I think Mariota has the edge because if Winston decides to come out, which I hope he doesn't, but let's say if he does, because they're going to probably look at the off-the-field stuff. As of right now, I think Mariota will go before Winston.
Right, but who will be the better pro in the long run?
I think Winston has a chance of being better. If he put it all together, if he gets his mind straight.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that? You have a reason why?
I just seen the tangibles he has. He wins. 2 straight years going undefeated. I like what I see in his game. I haven't seen much of Mariota. I maybe seen some, but I haven't watched him as much, so I can't really judge. So basically, I've seen the highlights of it, but I've actually seen James and Winston. He looks upon to, I think, to be something real good in the next level. It possibly could be a superstar, like you call it, a superstar. But
I got you.
I'm not going there yet with it, but he has a chance to be in something good if he keeps his mind straight and just no more off the field stuff,
All right, Ed, what's your take on it?
In the words of my friend Mike, there's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the African American community. A lot. Here's the thing, man. Okay, let's start from the beginning. The only reason Marcus Mariota's name has been mentioned a lot is because of Jameis Winston off-the-field issues. If Jameis Winston has off-the-field issues, he would be the Heisman Trophy winner, hands down. Okay? Now to their level of play on the field. Marcus Mariota plays in a trick-style offense. Every quarterback that has played in that offense that he plays in has the same type of numbers. He doesn't have to do any. He doesn't have any high IQ quarterback skills. The people he throws to are wide open every time. The running back gets a lot of yards. It's the closest match I have to that right now is Chip Kelly offense. And people are wide open. Mark Sanchez is not good. Just the people he throws to are wide open. And the defense got to look if you're going to run it or you're going to throw it with the quarterback. They got to look for that. So Marcus Mariota is doing nothing special, okay? That's a fact. So he doesn't have any high IQ skills. He's not doing nothing special. He's not doing nothing. Another reason I would say the same thing. That quarterback at Auburn, I can't think. What's that quarterback at Auburn's name?
Nick Marshall.
He does the same. They run the same type of offense. Option read. And nobody talking about he's good. He's been good for ever since he's been in college. He's been good. Nobody talking about him. So Marcus Mariota.
Well, talk to us about what Jameis does special. You talk about how ain't nobody else special. What is Jameis doing so special?
I'm gonna tell you. Jameis has his team undefeated. Okay. Jameis Winston is the reigning Heisman MVP. Heisman Trophy winner, I mean. Jameis Winston is the reigning national champ. Jameis Winston plays in a pro-style offense.
So, in other words, what you want us to do is focus on last year other than them 17 interceptions this year?
I don't want you to. Here's the thing. The interceptions are there. How hard is it to be undefeated?
How hard is it to throw 17 interceptions and be the Heisman Trophy winner? You keep talking about how he should be the Heisman Trophy winner. I don't know one Heisman Trophy winner in history that threw 17 interceptions in a year and won the Heisman.
Also, I don't know one Heisman Trophy winner that went undefeated 2 years straight and didn't win the Heisman at quarterback.
I know plenty of undefeated teams that didn't win a Heisman.
The quarterback?
Yes. Peyton Manning T. Martin went undefeated and a national championship and didn't win the Heisman.
T. Martin didn't win the Heisman because he wasn't expected to go to pro.
No, you made a comment, and I just proved your comment wrong. You said if they go undefeated and win the championship.
For two straight years.
No 2 straight years. You said undefeated and win the championship.
He didn't say
they
that.
Win the Heisman. T. Martin went undefeated
said undefeated for 2 straight years.
And did not win the Heisman.
He said win for 2 straight years. That's what he said.
Are we going?
No, he won it last year. We're talking about this year. We're talking 2014. Stop looking at what he did last year. This year, he is garbage.
Okay, let me
He's
say
garbage.
Too.
Wow.
And here's the thing. The person who I think is going to be a better pro quarterback in the NFL is Jameis Winston. Clearly because every quarterback that came out of Oregon is not good. They don't play the talent level that these bigger schools play every year. They don't play the talent
y'all
level.
Keep going. Go ahead. Y'all keep going. Go ahead.
And then here's the thing. He's running that trickster offense. Every quarterback that came out of Oregon has not done nothing in the league.
It's amazing how we got to judge what's going to happen in the future off of what happened in the past instead of focusing on 2014. Can we look at this year?
Go ahead.
Y'all real good about coming on here and talking about the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Can we talk about 2014?
I'm talking about 2014. That's what the coaches are going to do. They're going to say, okay, did he play in a pro-style offense? No, he didn't. Then he play in a pro-style offense.
Yep, he sure did.
And look at what he did. Look at what he does.
I did look at what he did. 17 interceptions. I'm looking at exactly what he did.
And still never lost a game.
Yep, exactly. Never lost a game.
It wasn't him that was winning the games. It means it was the team around him winning because he was throwing interceptions. Jameis Winston didn't win that game against Florida. Jameis Winston threw 4 interceptions in that game against Florida.
He's the leader of the team. He's the quarterback.
Hey, Tony.
I mean,
Hey, Tony, I know you heard this before. I know what you're saying. I don't care about the stats. All I care about is the W's.
Exactly. And Wiley's going to the stats now. Wiley wants to go to the stats now when it's convenient for him. Yes.
The wins are
the
not
bottom
coming
line
from
is
Jameis
he's undefeated. That's the bottom line, Wiley. He's undefeated.
Everything
That's
around
the
Jameis
bottom
Winston.
line, Wiley. And you know it, and I know it. And just deal with it, Wiley. You know good well the bottom line is he won.
The wins ain't coming from Jameis Winston. He getting credit for all the things that are happening around him. That top defense that he has, he's getting credit for. Those receivers that he has, he's getting. You're talking about how Marcus Mariota throwing the wide open receivers. Look at them damn receivers for Florida State. They're standing in the fucking end zone just waiting on the ball.
But they're not open. He has 17 interceptions. He can't be going around with people who got 17 interceptions. Why? You just proved my point.
No, my point is, anything past a 5-yard dump, he throws an interception unless they're standing wide open down the field.
Are y'all done?
Man. Yeah, what you want to say?
Go ahead, James.
All right. Since either you want to go by the past or go by the present, let's focus on Jameis Winston and let's focus on Florida State, right? Now, Tony, right? He's a Florida Gators fan. But here's his major point. Just because he's a Florida Gators fan doesn't mean he doesn't pay attention to what Florida State does. Okay? And the point that he's been making for a long time is Florida State as a program has been able to produce 10-win seasons almost every single year. And
no matter who the quarterback was.
No matter who the quarterback was. Christian Ponder, it was Adrian McPherson, it was Chris Winkie, it was Charlie Ward, it was, who did they have against Oklahoma? It wasn't even Chris Winkie. They had that backup quarterback, didn't they? Marcus Outzen. It didn't matter who it was. And those guys at Florida State ended up being in the NFL. Winkie, Ponder, a few of those. And you still have E.J. Manuel right now. What are they doing in the NFL right now? So I don't.
Absolutely. And really E.J. Manuel was done by the same coach that's coaching Jameis Winston.
Right now, and I don't see how you can see any different. No, wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, because I let y'all speak.
All right, go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
So, now, So when you bring up that point about Oregon quarterbacks not doing anything in the NFL, you could say the same thing about Florida State. Now, number two, you really want to bring up Jameis Winston being a Heisman candidate when he throws 21 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. You got to understand that the reason why they came back in most of those games, it wasn't just because of Jameis Winston. It was because of plays by Jalen Ramsey. It was because of plays like Bubba Wilson and Rashard Green on offense. It was by the plays of, that new freshman running back that they got right now, because for me, that freshman running back they got for Florida State is their MVP, because when they had that guy that was supposed to be the junior senior that got in trouble for him, he wasn't really performing for him in the backfield. When they had that freshman out there, he was balling. So
Thank you.
It was either Jalen Ramsey or their running back as the most valuable player for the Florida State team this year, because they are not the same team that they were last year. Everybody knows that.
Thank you.
But when teams make adjustments just like Florida State did, it's not that the offense or the passing game was any different for Florida State. They had Rashard Green last year. They had the tight end that they had last year. It was the difference in the backfield that makes them what they are right now. Because, I mean, if you didn't have them, what would they be doing against the Miami, the Louisville, the Georgia Tech, the Notre Dame? Those teams were scoring on Florida State. Tit for tat scoring on Florida State. NC State was scoring with Florida State. So and the thing with the University of Florida was the University of Florida didn't have any offense whatsoever against Florida State, because if they did, it would have been even worse. It would have been even worse for Florida Gators. I mean, at least
if not for that interception, they'd have lost that game.
You see, so when I assess the Florida State team and when I assess Jameis Winston, I see what's happening this year, and what I see from Jameis Winston this year. I can't really assess if he's going to be a top NFL player in the league. Number one, and then number two, you also got to see where these players land. Who are they going to put around them? What's the personnel going to be? That's something that we can't really judge right now. We can't do that. So even though they could be a top NFL prospect going into the NFL draft, it's all about what they do once they get in the league.
And what team they go to.
And what team they're going to choose. Because if I'm not mistaken, E.J. Manuel was the top 10 pick for the Buffalo Bills, right?
Yes, he was.
Top 15, top 20.
Well, I can't really pinpoint it, but you had him and you had Christian Ponder too, right?
I'm beginning. It's kind of convincing me. I don't think Winston's going to go below Mariota in the draft, because Mariota plays in that gimmicky offense and Winston plays in a more pro-style offense. So it seems like Winston's a little bit more pro-ready than Mariota.
All right, so tell me then, Quazell, who's going to win the Heisman Trophy this year?
It'll be Mariota.
Okay, who's going to win the national championship this year?
Florida State.
Oh, wow. So you think that Florida State is going to beat Oregon this weekend?
Yes, or
January 1st. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Wallace. Do you think Florida State you think Oregon's going to beat Alabama and Florida State in the same year? I don't see that happening.
Okay, you asked me a question and then you answered it for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Do I think Oregon is going to beat Florida State by 20? Do I think Oregon's going to beat Alabama by a field goal, by 4 points? But yes, I do think they're going to beat them both.
Okay.
Because Alabama is going to drag Ohio State. That's not even a question. That ain't even going to be a game. That ain't even going to be worth watching. And the Oregon game, I'm telling you, Oregon is going to run rapid. The one thing Florida State has not seen this year is a good offense. Name the best offense Florida State has seen this year.
Georgia Tech.
I guarantee you Oregon is 10 times Georgia Tech on offense.
I don't see
10 times Georgia Tech on offense. And I promise you, Florida State, no matter how good they are, they ain't going to be able to keep up with it. Because Jameis can't throw the touchdowns Mariota can throw. Jameis can't run the touchdowns Mariota can run. So that I guarantee you, Florida State loses by a minimum of 17 points.
All right. I just kind of want to respond to some of the things what James was saying. James made some great comments. He made some great comments on it. But one thing I want to say is, you talked about the players that Jameis Winston has around him. The reason why those guys go to those schools is because they want to win the game, and those are top recruits out of high school. Mariota couldn't go to those schools. That's why he's at Oregon. He's like a 2 or 3 star recruit. And no matter what you say that Jameis is throwing these great players, he has to make the throw. He has to make the handoff. It all starts with Jameis Winston. Without Jameis Winston, Florida State would not be getting where they are. You can talk about him like, oh, he's throwing these great players and this and that. He has players this talent. But here's the thing. They have to put it together, and it all has to work. And it only starts with Jameis Winston. Anybody you put in Oregon offense did those same numbers. That's a fact. Any quarterback they had with that offense did the same thing. So
yep. And you can't say the same.
But you just proved my point.
You can't say the same with Florida State.
But you just
EJ Mayo did not put up the same numbers that Jameis Winston did.
You just proved my point, because your point is that Mariota is a lesser recruit on a lesser recruited team at Oregon because Oregon can't recruit what Florida State recruits. But look at what they're doing with what they got.
Because they don't play any talent in the Pac-10, man.
Are you kidding?
The
Pac-12 is 10 times harder to play against than the fucking ACC. Come on.
It is. How many national championships have they won? How many 5-star recruits do they get every year?
Wait,
I know the Pac-12.
Hold it.
Whoa, now come on, USC, Stanford. Come on, man. I know you ain't felt to bump your head like that.
I want to say one more thing. And the reason why E.J. Manuel went, the reason why those quarterbacks get drafted, Christian Ponder and E.J. Manuel, because they went to FSU. Those are top high school players. If you go to FSU, you are going to the league. That is a fact. Any position, backup, third, you're going to the league. That's a fact.
Time out.
You literally went and said that the ACC has better recruiting than the fucking Pac-12? You don't fail and bumped your head.
Other than Florida State.
I'm talking about, I meant Florida State.
No, time out. Other than Florida State.
Florida State recruiting over the whole Pac-12.
Other than Florida State, name one team in there.
Hey guys, give me like 10 minutes. Hey guys, hold on real quick. Hey, give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back, okay? Y'all keep talking, okay? Yeah.
All right, go ahead, James.
I said, other than Florida State, name one team in the ACC that competed for the national championship.
Miami.
No. They were in the Big East. They have never won the division once getting into the ACC.
Yeah, they were not ACC when they won those national championships.
I know that, but I'm just being funny because he said name a team that competed for it. I know that.
But he's talking about an ACC team that won it as an ACC team.
Okay, here's my thing. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
As an ACC team, other than the Florida State Seminoles, name a team that competed for the national championship in the BCS and playoff era.
You can't, because only one team in the ACC matter in football. Florida State, you know that.
Okay, then your conference sucks. That ain't a brag. Are you kidding?
Hold up. So you telling me the Pac-12 is good?
Yes. I'm telling you the Pac-12 is good.
No, they're not, man. The only team in the Pac-12 that matters is USC, and you know that. Come on, man. Don't play with me. You know that.
So Stanford don't matter, Cal don't matter, none of the Oregon don't matter, none of them matter, right?
Okay, wait a minute.
They never won that championship. That's a fact. No.
Wait a minute. So then let me take it a step further. Further. Okay, you say that these teams haven't won national championships other than USC. Okay, so then let's do this. Let's take away USC from the Pac-12, and let's take away Florida State from the ACC. Okay? Those other teams that are left, even if I don't count Colorado and Utah, So
okay.
Pac-10. Who off of the ACC within that current conference has had as much success compared to teams Pac-10 or Pac-12 like Oregon, like Stanford, like Arizona?
Cal. UCLA. Come on.
Is it NC State? Is it Georgia Tech? Is it Wake Forest? I mean, who?
That's kind of a biased question because I already told you from the jump. And you know personally that nobody in the ACC is good at football except Florida State. You know that.
Wait a minute. But here's the thing, though. There are teams in there that have the potential to do that. Miami does. Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but not this year.
Not this year, no, but they have the program to do. Virginia Tech as a program. Virginia Tech as a program has won almost as many ACC championships as Florida State.
I agree.
But the thing is, your statement was that Mariota comes from weak recruiting, and that's why he had to go to Oregon. And because he went to Oregon, that's why he is not as good as Jameis Winston. But what I'm saying to you is, if you want to call that weak recruiting, and you want to say that he's weak at Oregon, and that recruiting classes at Oregon is weak, then if they're doing as good as they are and they're not even top tier, doesn't that tell you something about his abilities?
I mean, I see what you're saying, but again, I'm of the mindset of, I see everything you're saying. You're making some valid point. I'm of the mindset of Oregon is not a good football program. That's all I'm saying. They can get all the wins they want. They can do all the numbers, Mariota, hype them up, all that. When it comes to the nitty-gritty, like you hear this earlier, I told my friend from Oregon, he was on the phone earlier, he wouldn't even break Oregon. Oregon will never win a national championship as long as these schools, the power schools, are still playing. They will never win one. They don't get the talent. They don't get enough talent to do it. That's all I'm saying.
So I need you to be on this show next Wednesday after Oregon mud stomps FSU, and I want to hear you tell me that Oregon ain't got a chance.
Correct. I'll be on the show, man.
Yeah, the thing about it is that we know that as a national program, that Florida State is among the top 5 national programs in the country. But the thing about it is that with Oregon they have been close to winning a national championship.
They've been very close several times.
Right. And the thing about it is that when we look at the recruiting classes year in and year out,
who is building something? You guys are beating and bamming. Y'all need to put that on mute.
Yeah, who is that?
That ain't me.
I don't know.
That ain't me. I'm not even close to no wood.
I don't know if he's like some with the feed or something like that. But yeah, like I said before, when you have Oregon that's producing these type of teams, year in and year out within the Pac-12, that and they get these players that are used to conditions in Oregon and in California and in Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. So they're able to compete year in and year out. You know what I mean? But when you have Florida State, but when you have Florida State that is amongst the top 5 or top 10 recruiting classes in the country every single year,
exactly.
And then on top of that, the other teams in their conference usually aren't even close to producing those recruiting classes unless it's like, a year or two. And Miami gets a couple of players. Yeah, Miami should be up there, but they don't produce the players once they get on the field. Clemson sometimes gets, 1 or 2 top 10 recruiting players out there.
Yep.
But when you have, it's a difference, like Tony says sometimes, it's a difference when you get 1 or 2 4 or 5-star recruits when you're playing Florida State that has 20, 21, or 22 4 or 5-star recruits.
Correct.
And another thing that you got to understand, it's just like the SEC. It's impossible to go through the SEC without getting in one loss, normally. Yes, Alabama's done it a couple of times, but the SEC is too tough a conference to go undefeated every year. The Pac-12 is the same with Oregon. It's impossible to go through that conference every year undefeated. It is not impossible for FSU to go through the ACC every single fucking year and not lose a single game. Every single year.
That's true, but here's the thing though. With them going playing sorry people, when they do play the good team, they win. And one point I want to make too, the reason why Oregon's good now is because of the stuff that Reggie Bush and them boys did. If Reggie Bush and Pete Carroll would have did that stuff, if Pete Carroll would not allow that stuff to happen, we wouldn't be talking about Oregon. And y'all know that. That's why I'm not falling for this Oregon hope. I'm not even paying attention to it. It's a joke to me.
How long?
Wait.
My question is.
Oh, okay, so you want to say that, but you don't want to say that if FSU had done what every other college did, and every time Winston was out there fucking up this year, they suspended his ass, FSU wouldn't be where they are right now.
No, here's the thing. Every college is not going to suspend their good players. Look at Johnny Manziel. Other people done did work stuff. Look at Peter Warren, what he did. He didn't get suspended. He just went on offense.
Okay, but what I'm saying is schools that have a moral clause and a moral code, when they hear something like this, they put that person on suspension to investigate it. They don't investigate it until they find out if it's true or not, and then find ways to get around it. Florida went and suspended his quarterback the second there was an allegation that he had raped someone. Georgia went and suspended its number one Heisman Trophy winner running back the second they had allegations that he had done something illegal. Jameis Winston has done something over and over and over and over again this year, and they ain't done shit to that boy. Nothing. Why? Because their national championship and their undefeated season is more important than their integrity.
Exactly. That is their bread and butter. Exactly. Would you let somebody mess your cash cow? I don't think so. Florida State is raising around. Florida State football and baseball at that school. Nothing else matters, and you know that. So
okay, and that's what I'm saying. The integrity of your school has been placed in question.
Yeah, but you know, you said earlier too, Wiley, it's about money. You said that. It's about money.
I know, it is. It's definitely about money. But at the same time, the biggest money-making school in the state of Florida is the University of Florida, and we still keep our integrity.
That's true. That's true. But here's the thing. Jameis Winston didn't get It wasn't proven in any trial he did anything. Why would he be suspended?
He was proven of stealing crab legs.
Yeah, but we talked about that on the last.
What do you mean? Yeah, but that's a suspension on the University of Florida team. That is a suspension.
But do you really think we talked about it on a show a few shows ago? He got the hookup. The hookup went wrong. And do you really think he would have did that? He would have did just like that. If he thought he was gonna get arrested, he should have been arrested. That would have been me and you. We are going to jail.
No, I agree with you. Now, I understand hookups because I got frat brothers that are football players. I understand the hookup. And personally, I understand what he was doing. But what I'm saying is the way hookups work is as good as long as you don't get caught. When you get caught, they going to tell you they didn't know what you was doing. Everybody going to back off, and that's your ass.
All right, hey, we got 2 minutes left on the live stream on Blog Talk, so if there's anybody else that's listening, call in 347-237-5539 to listen to the rest of the show. All right, keep going, Tony.
You know how that works. It's one of those things, we all in it together, but the second someone get caught, don't none of us know. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Did I see it? Nope, I ain't seen nothing. I wasn't there. I ain't have nothing to do with it. And that's what the store did. They've been handing them the crab legs and shit out the back door, but he went and walked through the front door and tried to go back out the front door without paying. And then when they brought him back in, everybody in the back in the seafood department was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I ain't got nothing to do with that. What do you think they was going to say? Yeah, we gave it to him and get fired?
You're right.
You should have went to the back or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had.
Yeah, I know.
and then you have the whole thing with this whole thing about getting on the table and saying what he said, and then also allegations about him, taking money for autographed memorabilia or whatever it is. So the thing is that it seems like Florida State as a program is basically doing the reactionary type of thing, and they're almost doing it like USC does in like a lot of college football programs do. And I said it earlier. I said usually a program really punished for what after those people that did those things leave the college. And that's how
personally for me, I respect what Georgia did with Gurley. Everybody knew Gurley was about to be the Heisman Trophy winner. For Georgia to suspend that man, they ruined that man's career, and they know it. They ruined his Heisman Trophy chances, and they ruined his draft pick. But you know what? They kept their integrity. Same way with Florida. When Florida went and dropped or suspended the freshman and put sorry-ass Driscoll back out there, they knew what they were sacrificing. They were sacrificing that damn game because Driscoll sucks. But they did what they felt they needed to do. And they did it. God. And here we are.
I still think that was a setup. I don't think you really. I'm not all too sure that that Trey Harris really did anything wrong with that. But
of course, it was a setup. It was a setup. Yeah. Of course, everybody knows that. They wanted Driscoll to be the quarterback, and when they said they was about to drop Driscoll for a black quarterback, somebody made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, I ain't really buy that he really did something really on that chick. So that was kind of like a different situation. But even then, Florida still took the aggressive route in the disciplinary action and suspended Treon Harris, for a game. And like you said, Georgia, did what they did, suspended, Todd Gurley for a game, for what he did. So that's the difference between, those programs like Florida State and I guess maybe USC or whatever it is. It's like once you have something that, is really going good for you, you're going to keep that thing going until, that thing ends. And then after that thing ends, then you say, oh, okay, now bring on the punishments, bring on the sanctions, take all those scholarships, y'all go ahead. We already got what we wanted.
Exactly. That's exactly what UM did. That's exactly what the Hurricanes did. Okay,
let me butt in here, guys. I've been listening, guys. I'm back on now. Have you guys heard the preview for the new 30 for 30, the U?
Yeah, I heard it.
That's kind of exactly what you just said, James. That's kind of exactly what the producer, he was on Colin Cowherd today. That's kind of exactly what he said, the way that Miami felt, basically he said certain cities, Miami, LA, Las Vegas, you kind of know that certain shit is going to happen no matter what. So you kind of just go with the flow until it gets found out. And even then, it's not really that big of a deal because you kind of expect it to go on in those cities, and that's what he was saying about Miami with the, what is it, Nevin Shapiro and,
right.
That shit that was going on with him.
You got people who really believe in the idea that if you are not cheating, you're not trying hard enough. To me, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think those schools are cheating, man. It's just how it is. Go ahead, Mike from Chicago.
No, I don't think that was touchdown. I was just gonna bring a quick point. It's like it's like that character Bobby Heenan says. It's like often win, sometimes lose, but always cheat. And that's what a lot of these schools will be doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's nothing new in football. I think with the, now that we have social media and, people are allowed to have a much larger voice than they would have, 30 or 40 years ago, a lot more things are going to become exposed. Every little thing. I just now seen some shit with a dude from Ohio State. I don't know if you guys saw that. Him and his ex-girlfriend called the police on each other today. JT Barrett. About a domestic assault or some shit. So, and like I said, it's already front page news on ESPN. So, with the way social media is now, a lot of stuff is going to get picked up, that might not have been picked up, 30, even 20 years ago. I mean, shit, look at the advances we made. But, like I said, if you want to look at something like that, there's a lot of old football documentaries, or guys don't speak about a lot of that stuff, And like I said, if you want to look at a movie, like I said, one of my favorite football movies is North Dallas 40, and that movie, it was made in the I think it was like late 70s, early 80s, but it was actually about the Cowboys around the time of Don Meredith, back in the early 70s, late 60s. So you can imagine if that type of stuff was going on back then, what type of shit is going on now, and like I said, that's, I mean, you think about it, football, 60s, football was only, 20 years old. I mean, it wasn't what it is now, so it's like I said, it's nothing, all these little scandals and, handouts and shit like that, it's not really nothing new, but it's just, like I said, it's just on what you're able to cover up now, and, now you're not able to cover up as much as you used to be.
Yep, the age of technology and media, you're not going to be able to hide all the things you used to be able to hide. You're not going to be able to get away with all the things you used to get away with, because there's a camera somewhere, no matter where you go, whether it's in a person's hand, whether it's on a wall, whether it's at a store, whether it's at a red light, no matter where you go now, somebody is videotaping you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and let you in your own house.
Yep, and you can't everything you put out there, somebody is going to screenshot too, so you can't take it back, And that, that's another thing. You know what I hate? I hate when these guys put something up on Twitter or Facebook and then say their account was hacked. To me, that's like the lamest excuse on earth. It's like, at least just, come out and say you said it, you made a mistake, or, But I mean, like I said, they just now had this reporter. I don't know if you guys saw this, from ESPN Deportes, and she came out and said something. She basically said something about the Eric Garner case, and she's suspended. But before she got suspended, she tried to say, that somebody hacked her Twitter account. So it's like, to me that's like the lamest thing on earth when people try to say that.
Yeah.
We are in overtime. I want to talk about some.
Hold on, real quick before we get into that. Hold on, real quick before we get into controversial, and I want to lead into this. I want to say something real quick about the playoffs before I got off hold. If Florida State gets past Oregon and Alabama gets past Ohio State, this Florida State-Oregon game will be similar. This will be similar to that Miami-Penn State game in 1987, where everybody hates Miami and root for Penn State. And what's going to happen is everybody's going to root for Alabama. You know who is included in everybody. It'll be like that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird dynamic here. It'll be a certain group of people going for Florida State and a whole bunch of people going for Alabama. It's going to be that dynamic. Wait and watch and see what happens.
Wait a minute. Did I not tell y'all last week or week before last how this playoff was going to be? I told you game one was going to be the duel between Winston and Mariota, and then the final game was going to be the SEC against the Pac-12. Did I not say that last week?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember, and I don't remember, and I don't think so.
If it wasn't last week, it was the week before. It may have been online, but I said it's all about the money, and the money matchup is going to be Winston versus Mariota, and then the money matchup after that one is going to be the SEC versus the Pac-12. It's all about the money matchup.
That whole, that whole South and East versus the West Coast, type of thing.
No, everybody wants to say that the Pac-12 is the best conference in America, and then you got everybody saying the SEC is the best conference in America. So that matchup is the matchup for people arguing both sides. Plus, right now, the two best quarterbacks in the country are Winston and Mariota. And I said, it was last week or the week before, I said, it's all about the money matchups. That's why you're going to have Oregon against Florida State, and I said it was going to be Alabama against Baylor.
What I was going to say earlier, go ahead.
If you look at
and the reason why I said that is because Alabama's going to beat whoever they play. So they were going to put Alabama against Baylor and get that one over with, and they were going to have the money matchup be Mariota against Winston. Mariota was going to beat Winston.
I think the other matchup is a money matchup too, because you also have the Nick Saban Urban Meyer matchup in Ohio State and Alabama.
Right, and like I said, I didn't see Ohio State being there. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not see that.
I was the only one who thought that was gonna happen, and I was right, of course.
But I did see the money matchup of Mariota and Winston and the SEC versus the Pac-12 in the final game.
I wanted to say
that's true.
That Jameis Winston just did something yesterday stupid. He posted on Instagram some shit, let me see your titties or boobs or something. I seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
It was back on the website. I saw that. He did.
What? Yeah, somebody caught it?
Yeah, yesterday. It was on, I think, Black Sports Online yesterday.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look on there and see. No, we got to get old. That's the other thing. We got to get old boy back on the show, man. I like when he come on here. We got to get him back on here.
Who? Nate?
Jameis daddy needs to just take a belt and whoop his ass.
We've had to do we've had the owner of Black Sports Online on here a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got to bring
Jameis Winston's daddy really needs to just take his belt off and whoop his son's ass. I know you might think he's too old for that, but somebody needs to whoop his ass. He really needs an ass whooping.
The thing is, you know his girl is just sitting around waiting for him to sign that contract so she can marry him and get rid of his ass.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And and truthfully, I don't even blame. I don't even blame her in this situation either. I'm kind of looking forward to that shit. Like I said,
because you know what's gonna happen. She knows his dumb ass is gonna go out there and start cheating and fucking around because he ain't got no kind of self-control. And she's gonna have married him before he was worth anything. She ain't gonna have a job, so she gonna end up with half everything he's got, and that bitch is gonna have to pay alimony.
Well, like I said too, and like I said, I can tell you right now, from whatever when they do have a kid, that kid is also going to be a super athlete. Like I said, because from what I've seen of Jameis, and from the way she was out there running, I know she's a basketball star, and the way she was out there running in damn passing routes. Like I said, whatever kid they have is going to be, is going to be some shit too. So, like I said, she's just waiting to cash in, and I don't even blame her in this situation. In my opinion, she's too.
Now, I wanted to talk about something controversial before we started getting away from it. This whole idea that black athletes today are not supposed to take stands against all of this stuff that is going on, social issues in America, that shit is pissing me off. Because,
me too.
You got these certain athletes right now wearing these shirts that says, I can't breathe, and every single time they've come out with one on, it makes national news like they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Why should they be ashamed of themselves? They're fucking black men. They understand what it means to grow up black and grow up a black man, and they understand what it means to be harassed and treated like shit by cops. So when they see that shit happening, they can empathize, not just sympathize. And when you tell them they're not supposed to be doing that because they're an athlete, that's bullshit to me.
Yeah, it makes me mad too. Like I said, I think white America, in mainstream America, they're so it's really ugly, man. Like I said, especially it's like, how dare they get mad at these guys for doing this when for the past 3 months before every NFL game we've had that, what is it? No violence, make sure you tell, we've had 80 of those commercials. We've had, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like the player basically, like I say, they don't have any problems with the player advocating for anything else. They don't care if they wear pink, they don't care if they wear pink gloves or, pink shoes for breast cancer or, like I say, advocate no domestic violence. But once they advocate, for a black man being murdered, now everybody, now all of a sudden it's a problem and players need to shut up. It's past ridiculous, man. And like I said, it's really a shame. Like I said, it's really a shame too. It's sad. It's like, damn.
And they're literally telling people you shouldn't be wanting autographs from these people, and you shouldn't be applauding these people, and you should be booing these people when they're. What the fuck? You're not telling them to boo when you're sitting there saying don't abuse people. You're not telling them to boo when they're sitting there wearing pink all over themselves. You're not calling them gay because they're wearing pink, but all of a sudden they want to support their own kind, and you're telling everybody to ignore them and not give them any money and not give them any publicity then. That makes no sense.
Yeah, well, I want to make a valid comment. It's because they wanted to make Ray Rice the face of domestic violence because he was an African-American man. Also, they wanted to make Adrian Peterson the face of child abuse because it was an African-American man. The same thing they want to make the face of Ebola Africa. Y'all miss the whole concept because as African-American men, they want to say, okay, you doing this, so I'm finna brand y'all. They doing bad. And the thing that I want to take one more step by them commercials about domestic violence, that commercial made me sick because it's cops beating the piss out of African-American women in the street, European cops. And they ain't saying, that's domestic violence. That's domestic violence too. You cops beating women up. The European cops raping women and beating them. They don't be talking about domestic violence here. I think every African-American in those commercials and any man in those commercials need to be ashamed of themselves in those domestic violence commercials that come on NFL. They need to be ashamed of themselves. So what is it? Why is there not domestic violence then?
Yeah. Like
well,
it's
for me,
it's ugly, man. Go ahead, Dan.
For me, I kind of had like a split standpoint in this because I do get Tony's point in that, and like y'all said, when people talk about breast cancer this or Cancer Awareness Month or Jimmy Z Week or doing this thing for domestic violence or awareness with homosexuals in the league and all that type of stuff. The NFL and the NBA and all of them are like, ho-hum, want to beat the drum major up in the front with it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to, violence against, our people, they don't even want them to say nothing. They just want to be like one of those, majorettes that don't really do nothing in the parade, be all the way in the back, just marching there, just sitting there looking cute, and not say anything. And I'm like, that's about, to me, that's about as contradictory as it comes. If you can't even speak for your own people, or you can't let them speak for their own people, and what does that say about you?
I'm gonna tell you, I'd have lost my job as a Rams receiver last week because when they came out with their hands up, and then the next day the GM called himself Colin Ferguson or calling the police department and apologizing for him, I'd have cussed that bitch out. I don't need you to fucking apologize for me. Fuck you. I did that on my own, by myself, and I have the freedom of expression in America by the Constitution, no matter who the fuck I work for.
Yep.
You don't apologize for me.
I didn't know about that part.
And the thing is that they try to say something about, you can make a statement and this or that, but you're in the workplace, you don't do this in the workplace. But the thing about it is that when you're in the NFL or in the NBA, you're pretty much the main focus that are on the TVs and millions of, people around the world. So what can you make then to try to at least put on a T-shirt or make an expression, on TV for the world to see? They're not going to see you over there in Ferguson unless if you're, out there right in the front, up there in the front lines or, looking at witnessing people looting or doing whatever they're doing. So you're not going to be in the cameras then. They're not going to focus on you doing that stuff then. They're not going to focus on you doing the charity work then. They're going to see you out there on the field. So make a statement out there on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. To me, it really upsets me. And, I'm not one of those rah, I'm a black man people. I understand professionalism. I understand assimilation, because if you want to move up, you got to at least try to go along with the laws and the rules of the land if you want to move up. The one thing that we have to understand is, even though we don't like the rules are there for a reason, and you do have to obey the rules. So, I was telling one of my kids, one of my students last night in class, she was talking about how she's got young black boys, and she needs to teach her young black boys how to stand up to authority and this, that, the other. And I told her, no, sweetheart, that's not what you need to be teaching your young kids. What you need to teach your young kids is to obey the law. There is such thing called due process. And no matter how much you don't like the law, you need to obey the law. And then if you have a problem, you go and you take your measures to get it fixed or corrected. If a cop comes up to you and says, put your hands up, put your fucking hands up. Do not sit there and argue with him. Put your hands up. When he does whatever he does, takes you to jail or whatever, get you a lawyer, go to court, and prove that he was wrong, and then sue the hell out of that police department. But don't go fighting with that cop, because if you go fighting with that cop, you're going to end up dead, and the only story that's going to get out is his.
Exactly. And that's why that's the thing with the Mike Brown situation. That's why I said I think Mike Brown or the guy, they could have just been like, hey, I'll be arrested or whatever the case is, and I'll fight to live another day. That's it. Because there's certain battles you don't need to sit up here and try to fight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You don't want to give these guys any reason to try to mess with you. To try to unjustly mess with you. That's just the point I'm trying to say. They go. That's just the point I'm saying. And if you're going to say that's Conan, then whatever, you go ahead. I don't care. It's like what's the point of fighting this battle? It's a ridiculous battle to fight.
Especially if a man got a gun.
So, I don't get it. So you're not supposed to fight at all?
No, you are not supposed to fight authority. No, you are not.
You gonna get your ass whooped.
No,
if authority
is unjust, that authority is tyrannical. This country is built off of fighting.
It doesn't matter if it's tyrannical. The law is the law.
That's what
the
this
law
country
says
is
that you
on.
cannot jaywalk.
That's what this country is built on. No, this country gives you the right in the Bill of Rights to defend yourself from tyranny. That's the right to bear arms.
Okay, but that's called due process. You defend yourself in court. You do not defend yourself on the street against the policeman.
You can defend yourself by any means necessary.
No, you do. No, you cannot defend yourself by any means necessary. If you break the law, you are going to get punished for breaking the law. He was breaking the law by walking down the middle of the street.
When the laws change and they decide to put you guys back in chains, I aim to defend myself, and I aim to misbehave.
The law's not going to change and get you back in chains. Come on.
That's a different story. That's a different dynamic right there. That situation. Hold on, Cali Mike. That situation. Hold on, Cali Mike. Cali Mike. That's a situation that you can battle. We're talking about something petty, like getting in an argument with a policeman. That's different.
Hold on. Let's look at history. Let's look at what happened in Germany. The Germans did not.
Germany. You ain't in Germany.
Listen to what I do. If you're not gonna let me talk, man. God damn. Listen to what they did. The Nazis came in. They took over the government legally, changed the laws legally, put the Jews in ghettos legally, and then started killing them.
You can't do that in America. We have a representative government. No Congress can take over America. Hitler came in and took over America. That didn't happen in the United States.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know what FEMA is, and do you know what its powers are?
I know the Constitution. The President of the United cannot take over the country. The Congress cannot take over the country.
Do you know that by the Patriot Act, FEMA can overwrite the Constitution? Did you know that?
Wait.
The Patriot Act can easily be.
Am I lying?
It's a law that can be
Am I lying?
changed.
Yes or no? Am I lying? Yes or no?
At the time, the Federal Emergency Management Association was needed for federal issues that they didn't have to go and wait for Congress to vote on. So they gave them the right at the time. This was during 2001.
All these laws is no at the time. They're still active now.
Yeah, see, conspiracy theorists like you think the world is going to end. Slavery is not going to come back.
It's a conspiracy theory. I made up. Is FEMA? Hold up, Tony. What's the conspiracy theory? Is FEMA made up? Did I make that up? Is it a theory or is that?
Slavery is not going to come back in America.
Yeah. History never repeats itself, right? Never happens. You're right. Okay.
Not like that. It won't.
Mike. But what I'm saying is, yes, you got to stand up. It comes to a point. Mike. It comes to a point that you got to. Mike. It comes to a point where you have to make a stand. I got you. But there's certain battles that ain't even worth fighting, man. That's just the point I'm trying to say.
A battle for your freedom and your life is worth dying for.
That's different, yes. But Mike Brown, the situation with Mike Brown. What I'm saying is, but the situation with Mike Brown and Eric Garner, they weren't gonna be in slavery for the rest of their life. They just did what the police told them to do.
What was Mike Brown fighting for?
The Garner situation is different from Brown, man.
No. What was Mike Brown fighting for? That's what I asked you. What was Mike Brown fighting for?
Garner was choked to death on tape.
Hello, what was Mike Brown fighting for?
I didn't see a Mike Brown tape. I saw Eric Garner tape, so I'm only going to comment on
then let's talk about Eric Garner. When they told him that he needed to turn around and allow them to handcuff him, why did he not do it?
Because
all he had to do was do it and then fight it in court.
Exactly. That's all he had to do.
He had the videotape to prove that he was right. He did not have to fight the police.
Yep.
Let me answer. He did not fight the police. The reason why
the police. Why are you going to tell me he didn't fight the police?
Let me finish. He did not fight the police, and the reason why he did not want to turn around, because you heard the tape, he get harassed every week for selling cigarettes, a crime that is not illegal. Every week he got harassed for selling cigarettes on the corner, making a living for his family. You seen that.
That is illegal. You cannot sell individual cigarettes in America. That's why they come in a pack.
No, you cannot sell individual cigarettes for retail purposes.
You can't do it out there.
Hold on.
You can't do it out here. You go to jail.
You can't sell individual cigarettes for retail purposes. I can sell anything the fuck I want.
You cannot sell individual cigarettes.
You can't sell individual cigarettes for retail purposes. If I'm standing right next to you, I can sell you a cigarette.
You cannot.
They sell cigarettes in the corner store. They sell cigarettes in the corner store. You know that, Tony. Come on.
You cannot. There are states that say you cannot sell individual cigarettes from a pack.
Okay, let's not debate that way. Well, I'm asking your question. The man did not want to lay down because he's been getting harassed for weeks for selling cigarettes. That's what he didn't want to lay down. But
he is breaking the law. What part of breaking the law don't you get?
Hold on, Tony. You just said he wasn't breaking the law, and if you would have did what he was doing,
selling individual cigarettes is breaking the law.
Okay, my point is this. Hey, my point is this. If the cop told him to put his hands up, do whatever, he should have done that. That's all he had to do. And fight him in court.
He should have did it.
So in other words, you guys are in favor of the stop and frisk policy then?
No, what I'm saying to you is.
Oh God. No, that's not what we're saying, man. We're just saying.
Police officer tells you to put your hands behind your back. You put your hands behind your back. And then you handle it through the legal process. You are not going to win on the street. You can forget
it. Exactly. You're not going to win on the street. You're not. Because you're giving them a reason. Because if you fight it in the street, you're giving them a reason to use it against you.
That's fine. That's fine. And if that's your viewpoint, there's those that'll lie down and there's those that won't. I'm not going to lie down.
Hold on a second.
Yes, you will. But anyway.
Yeah.
Are
yes,
y'all
you
done?
would. I think you would. But anyway. Yeah, I'm done.
I'm in my car right now. You asked me, don't I have a 45 on my lap right now? And dare a motherfucker to come ask me to lie down. And I'll take a picture of it right now.
And I'll take a picture of your dead body when you don't.
Yeah, well, he better be a better shot than me. I go to range every day.
I bet you he is. What you bet?
Shit.
Yeah, if you
know anything about police officers?
Then you can walk around with that.
You damn straight I do. All nice and legal.
Yeah.
I'll defend myself.
If y'all play by the rules, if y'all so-called play by the rules of this corporation, then y'all do that, okay? Y'all are talking about this whole thing about Mike Brown and Eric Garner and anything like that. My thing is this, is that the overall point that I'm seeing is that our people are getting taken down by the police, and that's just a minuscule part of what's happening to our people and has happened to our people for a long time, okay? It's like we've said many times before, we're still being treated like quote-unquote second-class citizens when in the law books, blacks haven't been citizens in the law books for many years. Now, I do want to get on this whole Eric Garner thing, right? Okay, there's the thing about resisting arrest, and there's the thing about subduing a potential threat to your safety. Now, the thing with Eric Garner is, yes, he was a big dude, but my thing is this. If you had 3 or 4 police officers, or how many police officers that were in the area, okay, there are various ways to subdue a person, to put them in handcuffs, right? You have those many ways to do so. But to choke out a person, not put them at a state where they're at a weakened state where they can eventually put handcuffs on somebody, but actually choke out over the line.
Gentlemen, you guys...
What? No, wait, hold on a second. Hold it. Okay. Now...
A choke on out of the legal way, but a New York handbook too.
No, the reason why many people are upset about this is that you're seeing many other cases where police have done different things to different people that have been a threat to society, and they have taken different methods to subdue them. They didn't have to shoot and kill them. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to choke them out. No, they didn't have to do that. But here, in this case, this is what they have done to these 2 people. And
okay, but the thing here, and what you gentlemen don't seem to understand, and I'm going to take this from math perspective. You guys are looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you're skipping 1 and 2. You can't skip 1 and 2. 1, he's out there selling, doing something illegal. 2, he was asked to turn around and submit, and he resisted. Then all the other stuff happened. That's what you guys are missing. You're missing 1 and 2. You're jumping to 3 all the way up to 10, and then you're saying 10 was wrong. 10 was wrong. But had he done 1 and 2, he wouldn't have gotten to 3.
I didn't see.
Hold on. Wait.
Maybe
stop
I looked at it.
Stop it.
I didn't even see anybody ask brothers to turn around or do any of that shit. I just saw people start grabbing them. Maybe I was looking at it different.
But let James finish. You missed the whole thing then, because it was all on tape. The man was approached by officers because he had been there several times doing the same thing, selling things. When he kept arguing with the officer. When he refused, they called back up, and when the backup came, he started pushing away from him, refused
happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. It was already 3 officers there who came up to the man in the first place.
Let James finish.
When they walked up to the dude, they start grabbing the dude and putting their hands on him.
That is not true. That is not true. Have you seen the whole tape? The whole tape, he stood there arguing with one officer for 10 minutes before anybody showed up.
Those other 2 officers were plainclothes officers. They were standing right there. They were standing right the fuck there.
There were 4 in uniform officers there when he got choked out.
All right, Tony. You know everything. All right, Tony. You know everything. All right, Tony. Okay, you know everything. All right.
Let James go.
You keep talking about, or some of y'all are talking about, this whole 1 and 2 thing. Let me bring up this point again. Okay? There have been other cases where people that don't look like us have done the same thing.
Okay, you can't use that. You can't use that, James. It doesn't matter how unfair it is. At the time that you do it, you have to obey the law.
Let the man finish his statement before you start yelling at him.
Every single week or every single time, y'all bring up an argument. Y'all bring up a point. Y'all say what y'all say. I sit back and I listen. At the very least, can I expect the same thing out of y'all? Can I get a yes or no on that?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes for me and no for Tony Watley.
Time is money. We need to keep it moving.
Now, the reason why I say that this is being written, we see it all the time. We've seen it on social media. We've seen it in the news reports. We are being treated differently by these police officers.
And which individual is going to change that, James? Which individual out on the street that is asked to do what somebody else can get asked to do is going to...
I'm done with this.
Like I said, James, I'm going to say yes for me and no for Tony Watt because he couldn't even let you get 2 sentences.
I'm done with this conversation. Move on to the next one because I'm done.
Thank you. Like I say, because he wasn't even going to let you get 2 sentences in. I just want to say this, man. I just want to say this. And like I said, James, you have this on your Facebook. I don't see how people can know that this government has done fucking COINTELPRO. This government has done Tuskegee experiment where they fucking gave our grandfather syphilis, and you guys, you gotta trust the system, the Constitution.
Nobody said anything about trusting anybody.
You just did. You just said you gotta trust the system. And
you live in a country of laws, and you have to obey the laws. And if you don't like those laws, you have to get those laws changed. You don't get those laws changed on the street. You get those laws changed in Congress.
Tony, can I finish speaking? Tony, can I finish speaking? And the thing is, you get cats. It's like whoever told you that COINTELPRO ended. Who told you that? We know that we know these motherfuckers. But I'm a conspiracy theorist though. But now we know this shit is true. Now we know. Now we're starting to know that the CIA was giving Freeway Ricky cocaine. But that's a conspiracy theory though. But now what? See, that's the thing. Once a white man tells you it's true, then you find out. Then you accept it as true.
Well, please explain what I'm trying to explain to them.
I don't necessarily know if I'm going to explain, but this is what I'm saying. Let's just hypothetically say this. Eric Garner, Michael Brown, they stood up to the policeman. They cussed the policeman out. I mean, what is that going to do? That's just. I mean, the police can still do what they want. The police can still do what they want to do with it.
Nat Turner revolted.
That's different. That was an organized revolt. That was an organized revolt.
That was an organized. Are you fucking?
Can we stay right now, please?
Like I said, you're gonna have those that are gonna lay down, and you're gonna have those that don't. It's simple as that.
So that was worth Michael Brown dying for, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Like I said, you're gonna have those that are gonna lay down, and you're gonna have those that don't.
Yeah, and you're going to have those who are going to lay down, and you're going to have those who are going to get shot down, and your ass is going to be the latter.
That's fine. That's fine.
Next topic.
You guys choose to lay down. That's fine.
That's what I said about that. There's some laws out there we all know is unjust. That's what I say. You take these better measures and fight. But in some battles, like, I kind of get what both of y'all saying. Everybody is right to the extent what they're saying, but to the other extent, you know, like, you're not going to win the battle with the police.
My point is,
even though our pride is such, we know we're not going to win the battle. So, hey, that's just one of those things. If they're trying to be that way, take it to the next level. Take it to court.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Injustice is there. We know it's all unfair. But you are not going to change the unfairness on the street.
The court system
only way
always works out well for black
unfairness is to change the laws. And if you don't change the laws, the unfairness will be changed.
I have a question.
Thank you.
All right, what's your question, man? Who is it?
Here's the thing. Okay, this is the question. What can African Americans do? They say violence is not the answer, but they also say don't retaliate. What can we do? We can't give them to change the laws, but we can't do violence. What can we do?
You can get them to change the law. I've argued this for 3 weeks. On November the 4th, while black people were in Ferguson walking around by the thousands protesting, white people were in the ballot booths, and they re-elected a white conservative Republican. Had those same damn people out there yelling and screaming and voting, they would have a different mayor right now.
It wasn't any white people looting or rioting in Ferguson. That was all black people.
You didn't. Did you not just hear what the fuck I just said to you? 70% of Ferguson, Missouri is black. But
it wasn't any white people. It wasn't any white people looting.
Republican. Why?
It wasn't any white people looting and rioting in Ferguson. It was all black people.
While the white people were inside voting.
Okay, why don't you move to Ferguson and run for mayor then?
No, my point is, you want to know what can change it, instead of always being in the part of the law where you're the one incarcerated, be the part of the law where you start electing your elected officials.
I agree. If you have all the answers, you go first.
Here's my point.
I vote every election. I vote for every election.
Hold on, time out.
I am a political science instructor.
You're a master. You're a master of politics. You're a master. You're a master of politics. I agree.
My question was, they say we can't retaliate, and they say violence on us, but what can we do? That's my question. We can't.
And I just told you, you can vote.
Okay, time out. Okay, I've been voting. People been voting. But still,
no, the majority of blacks have not been voting. And blacks only vote during presidential elections. The laws are made during all
last election. A lot of us didn't vote out here in Illinois.
Let me time out. Here's my point, because this is what I want you to answer me then. Here's the thing. You say vote right, but did you realize what they did in South Carolina and Florida this year, the new laws in Florida, in case Mike don't know from Cali? You cannot forget. You have to have your Social Security card, passport.
You do not. I live in Tampa, Florida. Don't give me that bullshit.
Let me finish.
Eddie, I remember what they did to Florida.
That's a damn lie. That is a damn lie.
Hold up. Tony Watley, let me talk, man, because you're wrong. To get your ID,
you know more about Tampa than him.
You're not listening to me. Listen to what I'm saying.
Because you're a damn lie. I didn't have to bring my passport to the fucking voting booth.
I'm not talking about voting. Listen to what I'm telling you. You're not listening to me. Again, the law in Florida, to get your ID in Florida, you have to have a passport, birth certificate, or Social Security card. Most people don't have that stuff. And what do you need to vote? Your ID. So they're doing the rules to stop Africans from voting and the lower minority class from voting. So I'm saying, what can we do?
You are telling a fucking lie. I voted on November the 4th, and I voted with my driver's license. I didn't have to have the Social Security card, passport, or nothing else. I walked in, I showed them my damn driver's license, and they marked my name, they gave me a ballot, and I went to vote. I didn't have to have no damn Social Security card or passport.
This dude is slow, man. Did anybody hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I did.
This dude is slow, man. I said ID clearly. They did that in South Carolina. They did that in Florida to stop African Americans from voting. I don't know what he's talking about.
You have to have a photo ID. That's all you have to have. If you got a driver's license, that's a photo ID.
All right, so y'all
folks. So in case I just want to get this out to all our viewers. In case you guys haven't heard, the clue for solving all the problems in this country and for ending racism is voting.
Yes, that is the way that you change the laws in America. Is you vote in the people that are willing to change them.
All right. So
yeah, but we don't.
Last time I checked, murder is against the law, and it hasn't stopped anybody. But okay.
Hey.
But we don't have the military. We don't have the military arsenal, man, to fight. You know, it's like I see what you're saying. You know, but it's a battle right now that we ain't ready to win because like you gotta have enough people to put their lives on the line, Mike. And I don't think you got enough of us that are willing to do that. I highly doubt that.
Like I said, if you look for certain avenues, you find certain things. Like I said, when it comes my turn, I aim to misbehave.
Well, I'm telling you, white people outnumber black people in America 7-1. So all you niggas can get together and you still gonna get your ass.
See, this is. Let me guys tell you something about.
Yes, they do.
This is a tone problem.
Look at the last sentence. How the hell you gonna tell me? I do this for a living.
Let me tell you something about guys like Tony Wiley. Anytime you say something against the government, they automatically look at that as a threat because they think about you. Nobody said a battle of white versus black. Nobody said that. But when you talk to some people, they want to protect their white man so quickly. They'll immediately jump to that. Wow. When you notice, nobody besides Tony Wiley has said anything about a war about white and black people. If you notice that.
You're the one talking about arming yourself against them.
So
no, he didn't, man. He didn't say that, man.
Did I say anything like that? Can anybody else?
No, he said he has in his lap.
Nope.
Did I say anything about shooting white people? Like I said, you get some people, you get some black folks in this country that's so quick to protect their white daddy. Anything that sounds like a threat. Oh my goodness, black people arming themselves. They're gonna go kill white people.
Oh my God.
And nobody said that shit except for you, Tony.
Yeah.
All right. Let's end this. All right, let's go to another topic because I really wanted to get to this topic on this show. We're going back to sports, and this thing was stemming from a discussion that came on our chat earlier. Okay, usually about once every year, usually near Super Bowl time, we kind of like see the people that get nominated for the Hall of Fame, right? So for a few years, we usually talk about this player Hall of Famer, this player Hall of Famer. Well, a certain person brought up a receiver that plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my God! Really?
And his name is Vincent Jackson. And he said that if Vincent Jackson has a few more years where he has like 1,000 yards receiving, that he will end up being a Hall of Famer.
That's a fact.
Who the fuck said that shit?
So my question.
Was that Claudel?
So my question, y'all, is.
Claudel, was that you?
Right now.
Who said that? I've seen one of your conversations.
Hold on. I said, right now, either right now or 5 years from now, would you consider Vincent Jackson as a Hall of Fame caliber player?
Can I go first?
No.
I consider Mike Evans a Hall of Famer caliber player over Vincent Jackson.
Can I go? All right, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Vincent Jackson is a Hall of Famer. You know why? Because every year he was in San Diego, he had 1,000 yards. I don't get 1,000 yards. The only reason he started being started when he came to Tampa Bay. Even his first year had 1,000 yards. He doesn't have a quarterback, so I say, yeah, you're a Hall of Famer. He's never been a Hall of Famer since he's been in the league.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
If he keeps making 1,000-yard seasons, by the time he's finished 5 to 6 years from now, Vincent Jackson will be a Hall of Famer. And all of you dumb bitches that keep talking about Evans is a Hall of Famer in his rookie year, just because somebody has a good year doesn't make him a fucking Hall of Famer. You stupid asses.
What year has Vincent Jackson had that makes him all? First of all, Vincent Jackson has never been the best receiver in football. He's never even been in the top 5.
You don't have to be the best receiver in football to be a Hall of Famer.
He's never even been a top 5 receiver.
Hold on. Hey, Clausel, you there?
Yeah.
When we usually talk about Hall of Fame candidates, what is usually your criterion about a Hall of Fame or potential Hall of Fame? Your criteria of that player?
I go by the Skip Bayless rule. You say the name.
What's that rule?
If you say the name, and if you have to think about it, they're not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
They're not a Hall of Famer. If you have to hesitate, they're not a Hall of Famer. Vincent Jackson's not a Hall of Famer.
Not right now, not today.
No.
I said when his career is over.
My thing is this. If you are playing an opposing team, right, and either that team itself, when it does its scouting report, or when the analysts do the preview, you don't mention that person's name right off the bat as an impact player.
Are you kidding? Every year before Evans got here this year, the second any team played the Tampa Bucks, the first name out of their mouth on offense was Vincent Jackson.
Well, you have to, but there's another caveat to that. They're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Oh my God!
Now, this is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that had the Warren Sapp, Lynch's, the Derrick Brooks.
Vincent Jackson's better than
Keyshawn Johnson. Over the last 4 years that Vincent Jackson's been in Tampa, every defense that has played against them, what was the first name on offense that came up?
Here's my counterpoint. Here's my counterpoint to that. When you talk about top receivers in the NFL, how long will it take to
preparation? When you're game preparing for the Tampa Bay Bucks, what's the first name on offense that comes up?
I've stopped again.
Mike Evans?
No, that's this year. He's a rookie. I said before this year.
Yeah, Vincent Jackson was so good that the Bucks went out and drafted another wide receiver because Vincent Jackson was that good.
No, because you can't run a team off of one receiver, dumbass.
You can't?
No, you can't. You got to have at least somebody on the other side that can at least take some of the attention off of your superstar.
Oh, okay.
Megatron ain't the only receiver on Detroit. Demetrius Thomas ain't the only receiver on Denver.
Who's the other receiver?
Larry Fitzgerald ain't the only receiver at Arizona.
Who's the other receiver? Who's the other wide receiver in Detroit?
Guy from Notre Dame, Golden Tate.
I got 2 or 3 of them.
Don't let Mike fool y'all, man. Mike know Golden Tate ball. Don't fall in Mike trap, man. Golden Tate ball and Mike know that this. He gonna get 1,000 yards this year.
Huh?
Mike, you know Golden Tate's gonna get 1,000 yards this year. That trick can't work on me. You know that.
Vincent Jackson stinks.
We talking about Golden Tate.
I don't know about that now.
Either. No, let's talk about the Raiders. I saw the Raiders on and the 49ers. Let's talk about it and the Chargers.
Let's talk about the Bucks. They got the same record as all them. They're worse than the Niners.
They got Vincent Jackson though.
The Bucks have the same record as the Raiders. So what? What do you want to talk about? They were looking better than you guys.
If Vincent Jackson continues to put up 1,000-yard seasons, I think put it this way: if Tampa keeps playing like they're playing now, they're gonna get the number 1 overall pick. I think if Tampa gets the number 1 overall pick, they're going Marcus Mariota. And if Tampa gets Marcus Mariota, and they continue doing what they're doing right now, I can see him being a Hall of Famer. Because all they need is
better. Clausell said Rondé Barber's not a Hall of Famer. That's a joke.
Yeah, I did say that. I have to think about Rondé for some reason.
Man, you crazy, man. 20 interceptions.
But if Tampa gets Jameis Winston, if Jameis Winston comes out and Tampa gets him, he'll be in a good situation because he got 2 good receivers. He got Vincent Jackson and
Mike Evans. You know better than that,
He'll be in a good situation.
You know that ain't going to happen in Tampa. You know that ain't going to happen in Tampa.
It may happen, man.
No, it'll never happen. A black coach and a black quarterback?
Where is Josh Freeman?
You play for the Raiders.
So, I mean, they're going to get Marcus Mariota. He's pretty much black.
Yeah, they don't see Marcus Mariota as black. They see him as Hispanic, like Sanchez.
Marcus Mariota is Hawaiian.
They don't see him as black. That's what I'm saying. They don't see him as black. And as long as he ain't black, he good. It's called Southern politics.
Vincent Jackson will not make the Hall of Fame.
Right, we will see. Like I said, if he gets 1,000-yard seasons like he has at Tampa 3 of his 4 years, I'm telling you, he continues to get 1,000-yard seasons. He does it another 4, 5, 6 years, he will be in the Hall of Fame.
6 years? He doesn't have 6 years worth of 1,000-yard seasons right now.
Do what?
I said he doesn't have 6 yards. He doesn't have 6 seasons worth of 1,000 yards. He doesn't have 6,000-yard seasons.
Put your money where your mouth is. He got 40 in San Diego and 40 in Tampa.
No.
This year.
Oh, you're breaking up.
All right, look it up. I'm gonna need you to Google that because he's got 3,000-yard seasons in San Diego. He's got 3,000-yard seasons in Tampa.
No, he doesn't. No.
All right, Google it. Tell me I'm wrong.
No. I don't need to. No.
All right, Google it. Can somebody Google that for me? NFL stats on.
No. This is an insane conversation. No.
Oh, okay. I'm lying.
We're talking about Vincent Jackson making the Hall of Fame. Really? Really?
Yes.
I think we need one of these Hall of Fame segments on this show. Because it really does bring a good talk on to really
you got Chris Carter had to wait. You got Tim Brown still having to wait, and you're saying Vincent Jackson is going to the Hall?
One of these days, if he continues 1,000-yard seasons for the next 4 or 5 years, yes, Vincent Jackson will go to the Hall.
Yeah, I think this is about getting to the end of the show.
Yeah, I don't think right now. I would say I don't think he is for now, but it's a lot of receivers. If he has a chance, it's gonna take a while.
Oh yeah, I didn't say he'd be first ballot.
I don't know how many ballots it'll be. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
Wait, hold on, Tony. Hold up, Tony. Did you say? Wait a minute. First of all, Vincent Jackson only